Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Dinosaur and the Dude, the only podcast in the fucking world with the shittiest audio with the most amazing content. Love that you all are listening to us, and we really appreciate it. So sit back and relax as we start this episode. Hey everyone, before we get started with this episode, I just want to give everyone a heads up that we will be talking about some serious topics today and our perspectives on it. And so because of that, we're just going to not have any promos this episode. We're not going to have any commercials or breaks in that nature because we want to make sure that people understand that this is all our perspective. We're not trying to tie in any sponsor or affiliate or company that we're doing any promos with to have any confusion or misconception that our perspective, our views are also in agreement with theirs and vice versa. We've never really get with a sponsor or affiliate or partner with anyone to take on the views and standings of people that are associated with that company. We genuinely just like a certain product and we promote that. And then, you know, from that outlook, we want the reverse. We don't want any of those product holders to be, you know, held in some sort of light that they're in agreement with our views. It seems ridiculous to have to say that, but here we are saying it just to make sure that there's clarity and transparency on all ends. It's kind of a interesting topic, interesting episode, and so we want to give it and the content the respect is needed and have no breaks. And so that way, the only breaks that you're going to hear in this episode is from you pushing the pause to do your thing. This is all our perspective, our opinion. There's no intent for offense or anything like that. And this is all sounds like it's all trying to get ahead of a wave of shit, but it's really not about that. It's just for the clarity of it, just to make sure that people understand this topic, this episode is a culmination of two people's views from what they've experienced, not a summation of this is a definitive take on these particular topics. So just keep that in mind. If you're interested, though, in the types of things that we're affiliated with or the types of companies that we like to promote, feel free to go to our website, TheDinosaur&TheDude.com. There you'll find not just episodes, not just merch, but also a ton of affiliates that we highly recommend. And we'd love for you to use our discount code or our promo code and get some of those services, especially if you're looking for mental health services. Why the hell not? So enjoy this episode. We hope that you do. And please let your friends know, so that we can have more ears checking out these episodes. We try to put as much as we can into it, try to put as much thought, research, time, and ability. And the more and more we do it, we are just continually trying to better ourselves. And so leave us a like, subscribe, comment, just leave us comments so we'll know how we can do more content that you would be interested in as well. All right, enough of this shit. Thanks for listening thus far, and just enjoy this episode for what it is. It's the Dinosaur and the Dude, damn it. Yeah.
Myself and a few other people. You know who they're coming for.
Oh.
I said, how are you?
I'm doing all right. If on this end, it sounded like, hey, Term, how was it? It's like,
is it still messing up?
No, it's fine now. But for a second,
I was using my sexy Muppet voice. Did you not get that?
I was like,
I didn't do it for you.
Either that's audio. Yeah, no. It was like, either that's audio and going deaf or having a stroke. Let me see if I can have her say it again and it gets better. It got better. Awesome. Yeah, right. Now you just do. Oh, well, if that induces a panic attack. Oh God.
You ready for this shit?
I think
Okay.
so. Are we doing the shit that we thought we were going to do?
Let's do this. This has been
about?
long overdue.
We're ready for
we
it?
don't even have to.
We're
Welcome,
serious.
everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the podcast. Okay, that was the intro. I guess.
Oh, I totally know it was. Of course it was. It's gonna be.
Yeah, I know. It sounded amazing, I thought. So
no,
you're like, it sounded something.
It's fantastic, lovely.
It sure did.
Top notch.
Hang on just a second, Laura's
Top
coming
notch.
in.
Oh, hey.
Hold on. Here.
Hey. Look at that.
Well, hello. Welcome to Scene Caller.
Okay.
Don't say his name.
It's okay. I'll beep it out.
So sorry.
What are you doing? How are you doing?
How are you?
Why did I sound like a fucking 13-year-old talking to a woman for the first time in my life? What are you doing? How are you doing?
You're a little eager there, sir.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was. You're right. I was super eager for a lesbian. Okay, so yeah, I'm doing great.
Careful there. I'm doing
yourself?
okay. I'm about to go out and I guess you'll have to edit that. I'm going out to meet some people. So
Unalive.
Okay,
Unalive.
sweet. Okay, good. That now we can keep it in.
I'll let you get back with it. I just wanted to say, hey.
Nobody knows what that means. Oh, hey, okay. Well, have fun. Stay safe. Keep a mask on. Not because of the the sun virus, but because you don't want your identity known once you're doing what you're doing.
That's true. Yes, I need to be very covert in all things I do.
Yes, that's the word. That's the French word.
Yes,
covert. Yes.
Well, all right, sir.
Yeah.
Have fun. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Okay. You too.
Love you. Bye.
Be safe.
Hey.
I always enjoy wishing people well as they go off to do nefarious things. It's sort of like
Things.
It's like, wow.
Oh, your glasses, honey.
Get your glasses. You
Get your glasses. You're going to need to be able to see to sharpshoot.
You don't want to get the wrong person.
Right.
It was
Hold on.
three people, and I was the one that was the tallest.
What the hell was that? I don't know.
Oh,
What you doing to my dog?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Gave it a relaxer. Get
So
those
speaking
eyes.
of sharpshoot,
Yeah, okay.
I know that I needed a weapon to protect us,
Okay.
but I'm not a gun person because for the simple fact that I have PTSD.
Okay.
The last time that I was in a shooting range,
Okay.
I was in my lane and I hadn't even touched the gun and I had a full blown ass panic attack.
Really? Wow.
So
okay.
yeah, it bothers me to handle him. I know that it causes loud noises, and that is the headphones on it, the ear protection. It's not enough for me. So I know that I wouldn't be comfortable. I would hesitate when I was firing a weapon because the sound is going to be coming, right? So I know that I needed to have something to protect myself because as much as I would like to just start going at people with a machete, I really probably don't need to get close to them. So, because you have germs. So, I got a gun called a Berna.
Oh my God. I was literally pulling up the website to send you.
Oh, she's so pretty.
I was literally pulling up the website. I was like, maybe this will work for what she needs. Like,
yeah, it came in today. I'm so stoked.
I just sent the proof.
It's got It's got it runs with the CO2 cartridges.
Right.
And police are using those now instead of, or a lot of police departments
security
are using those now.
Yeah.
It's a badass. I
Yeah.
mean, and I got the training projectiles.
Did you get the rifle?
No, but that's next.
Oh, look at you
They're
branching
sold out of the
out.
one that I want. The one that I want is
Oh,
like
okay, okay, okay.
$850.
Which one?
The one that I want is like $850.
Oh, look at
The mission,
you.
I think it might be. So anyway, I mean, if I'm going to have to protect, I figured, well, Laura and I make a really good team because she's great with the gun. I mean, she's great with the gun. Scary great.
Okay, so I see that. Let me see if I can visualize the tag team.
Yes, go on.
You shoot at them with the burner, get them all like, ah, and they can't move. And then that just makes it easier for her to just snipe all headshots all day.
Yeah, all day long. It gives her time to reload. I can just deter, and she can do her shit.
Beautiful.
I know. It came with 2 mags. I'm probably going to get 3 more. Let me see just a second.
Mags?
I got magazines.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're about to get that rifle. It's sold out. $8.99.
I know. Did you see it? It's so pretty,
I'm looking at it right now.
No,
I'm looking at it right now. Oh my God.
It's BYRNA. It's Berna. It's
okay.
Yeah, $899. No, is that the one?
We're gonna have to see if we can represent them.
Oh my God, that would be fucking amazing. I don't even want a discount. I just want to shout their name out for the rooftops and be like, "Y'all come at me." So you got to feel it because it's gonna. And I'm not telling you, but you're gonna fucking hurt for a little bit.
So do we do this now? I mean, I think between now and when this episode airs, we can see if we could be,
I mean, here's the thing: they probably won't want us to be affiliated with them because here's the thing: we're not like a tactical company. We don't have any military experience, and we're just 2 people who fly off and just say what the fuck ever we want to.
Okay. So I'm still not seeing it. I'm not seeing what the downside is.
Okay. So yeah, the one that I want is the Mission 4.
Yeah, you want the Mission 4?
Fucking hell.
I'm just saying it's like, okay, so we're not all those things that we might not be all those things that you mentioned. Okay. But they are supplying regular people. They're not just wanting just those types of people to buy their products, right?
That's true. That is true.
So you're like, okay, look, I'm not all of what you're shooting for, no pun, but
it says refer and save.
But I am a prepper. Just lay that out there.
Yeah. So I'm a prepper. You come up on me, and I will go. I will get down on the elderly. We've already established that.
Prepper, i.e., homesteader. Yeah. See,
there's a difference. There's a very big difference.
Oh no, there's a huge difference. Oh yeah, sure. There's a huge difference. There's a whole family doing a whole goddamn show. I gotta watch
Homesteaders grow carrots and eat them as they come out. Preppers grow fields of carrots and can them so that when the shit hits the fan, they will have some carrots.
Is that so? I know this is.
No, I'm loving the randomness of this. We'll get to the religion thing in just a minute.
Let me go ahead and foretell the future to everyone.
Hold on. Before we do that, can we just put in this disclaimer just real quick?
Well, hold on. Yeah, before we do the disclaimer, this is going to set the table for the meal we're about to have. Where we're at in discussion right now is nowhere near the topic we're going to be at during this episode. So just keep that in mind.
Lord help us.
This is just the pre-meal discussion. All right, here's the disclaimer. Okay, everyone, before we get started into this episode, whatever we might be talking about might be triggering. So here's the warning. Just be mindful of what we are saying is definitely something that we're not trying to trigger you on, but just some of the topics might be a little iffy in regards to. Yeah, exactly. That's the word I was trying to say.
Fragile, delicate.
Yeah. And we're not saying that you are. It's just that some of the content might trigger somebody in a certain way.
It's offensive.
We talk about different things that happen to people that could be assaults, or somebody could be killed or
we do try to give trigger warnings though. So I'll give you the quick disclaimer.
Yeah. So you all listen to her. The dinosaur is going to go over the disclaimer because I can't, because I don't give a fuck. She cares way more. She cares way more than I do, even though she'll say the opposite. So you all listen to the disclaimer is here for your benefit. Here's the dinosaur. Also, everything that we're saying in our episodes, unless we state otherwise, is all for entertainment. And there's no there's nothing that we're giving away as advice or of a matter of fact that you should go out in the world and do your own thing. We're basically saying we're not responsible for whatever fuck ups you experience after listening to us and trying to do whatever the fuck we're talking about. That's on you. Okay. All right. Now she'll finish out the rest of the disclaimer.
We don't know shit, and we don't try to say that we know shit. We like the internet, and it likes us, so we play together sometimes. But don't take anything that we say to heart. Don't take it as the gospel. Don't take it as an expert of any kind, because we don't know shit. We just like to hang out and with y'all and talk about goofy shit or funny shit or scary shit or real shit or whatever shit. And
it's all shit. Yeah.
It's all shit with the audio shit, you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty much, that's our moniker. Okay. Yeah. So, if we know that we're going to offend you, so we get that. At some point we will offend somebody, and if we do, we're sorry. Find another podcast. Not that we don't want you here. It's just that if we're going to be in the habit of offending you, then we don't want to hurt your feelings. So, but if you're not 18, please don't listen to this. And I think that might be it.
Okay, so you got this, and before we get into it, the major part of it. So you think, and I'm not saying you think like it's a odd assumption, but
you think you have a fucking brain,
right, exactly. So from your perspective, homesteaders and preppers have a vast difference like that, where preppers are literally staying to the name, prepping, and homesteading is more so, I guess, to get one succinct definition, they're living the life.
So here is me going a little nerdy.
Okay, no, please do. That's why I'm asking. You can do it.
So I think that the relationship between prepper and homesteader is much like mathematics.
Okay.
Because division and addition are different. They're both useful, but sometimes you have to use them together.
Okay.
But you don't have to always use them together. 2 + 2 doesn't require division. But the lengthier equations or formulas or what the fuck ever. See, I'm terrible at math.
No. This is your vision board. Go ahead and fill it up. I'm just trying to keep up with it. Go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, I think that there are a lot of preppers that are homesteaders, and there's a lot of homesteaders that are preppers, but they're not tied together. It can be exclusive from each other, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying I love crafts.
Yeah.
But within that, I love to do macrame. But I also love to paint. You know, you don't have to have one in order to have the other.
Right. Yeah.
I don't do either of those, by the way, because I'm too busy fucking prepping.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm understanding that. Whereas a homesteader is looking to live off the grid, and the stereotypical homesteader, it could be some one-off homesteaders like, man, I don't do that. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm talking about the stereotypical homesteader. They're looking for a place out away from the masses where they can live more off the land, grow their own stuff, provide for themselves. They can probably still have electricity. It's not saying that without electricity. That's what I'm saying. Some people might have
unless they're Amish.
A little bit more. And then
they'll just come over to your house and use yours.
Well, right. But Amish is more of a religion. I'm just saying, like, you can have electricity if you're homesteading and you want it. You could use solar. You could do that. It's not saying
you could make your own. Use a fucking potato and some magnets and some wire.
Yeah. You could drill wells and have your own water supply, or catch that water from the rain if it rains enough in there. But that's pretty, you could have a garden. And like you said, you could have animals and feed, whereas a prepper can be living next door to you right now. And they are growing things. Their whole backyard is one big garden solely because they want to get all their, like you said, carrots, use them, eat them as needed, but then also store some, prep them, dry some out for make carrot chips so you can dehydrate them and then rehydrate them in stews later and all this other shit, make stuffing out of with the carrots. They find the myriad of ways to completely use the carrots, even replanting and all that kind of stuff.
And the tops, you put them in the compost, and that makes healthy soil.
Right.
And you also have to make for sure that you have some put back for barter.
Right.
Because carrots are in demand, and people might not have a whole bunch of carrots, but they may have, some weed, and maybe they just want to trade with you.
Right. And so that's what I mean. Like that, all that can happen within a city next door.
For sure.
Whereas a homesteader, they're looking to get out and away and off somewhere where they can jump on hay bales.
I'm going to start a communal thing.
Whoa, you want to have more people? You want to have a communal? You want to have like a prepper homestead community?
Yeah, actually.
Wow.
I would love that.
Wow.
Because we can all pitch in, and as long as we're all pitching in, then, like somebody could make cheese.
Yeah.
Somebody could milk the nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my job because I'm really good at it. For being a lesbian, I can milk the shit out of some nuts. I'm talking about almonds and cashews, by the way.
Oh, too late. It is way too late. It is way too late. It has gone through my head so many times, so many ways.
It's just hanging around. It's just hanging around out there.
Yeah, when I didn't have to say a word.
Some people could just be in charge of the garden. Some people could be in charge of the fruit orchards. Some people could be in charge of the animal husbandry. I don't like animals that way, so I don't want to do that.
Because it can go. It can get to where it's filling in the little. It's filling in the lanes that others might not be as strong in or don't want to do at all. So if they're
but also it's hard to do everything yourself. A true homesteader,
sure, yeah,
you're making everything. Yeah. You're finding things. You're foraging. You're hunting. You're doing all the things.
It's hard to do it physically, and then it's hard to know all that shit and remember it and be able to optimize.
And we can learn from each other and stuff. So I think it's got legs, and Laura's into it too.
It does have legs. I kind of like that idea. I'd love to see, how it works out for you.
That's our goal. If we stay in the States, that's our goal.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now, if we leave the country, we'll go to an expat community wherever we end up. Mm-hmm. And then that will kind of be its own communal thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I find it fascinating. I really do.
Me too.
I think we should have an episode that's just on homesteading and prepping dreams.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to plan that because there's so much to cover.
Sure.
Okay, so how's your mom and them?
They're alive. And next.
So I miss my mom because I haven't been able to see her. I had that big work project, and then this week I've just been trying to get caught up, and it's 4 days away, and I still haven't done our taxes, so that's got to happen.
Yo, you're not the only one. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God. So we're going to owe so much money this year. Holy shit.
It's one of those things where you got to get it done, but at the same time, you so don't want to fucking do it. I
just know it's going to be ugly, and I really don't want any part of that right now. I'm under enough stress as it is. Speaking of stress and what it does to people, i.e. me.
Okay.
I did go to the interventional pulmonologist.
Yeah.
And they
Okay.
did another CT.
Yeah.
And then they did the breathing tests and all that happy horse shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met with the doctor and he measured the tumors on the CT and he said they are shrinking, which is amazing. And that tells him that it's not cancer because they wouldn't have shrunk if because of the steroids, right?
Yeah,
so he
that's
knows
my
that.
assumption.
Yeah, he says that it's not cancer, at least not for now. He said he can't guarantee what happens in the future, right? Because it can change. A tumor
Right.
is an embodiment for cancer cells to grow.
Yeah.
So they're benign right now, and hopefully they'll stay that way. But he said it's doing good. My breathing is doing good. He did tell me that I need to get off of that one bronchial dilator that I was taking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He said it can cause some side effects, and I was like, fucking hell! Like I've been trying to figure out why I've been having these certain side effects, and I didn't even say anything to him. He just said, "Yeah, we need to get you off of this because it can cause this and this." And I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" Because I've literally been having them take my blood, take my urine, try to figure out if I have a UTI or a kidney thing or what the fuck is going on. Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, that's the problem." He was like, "We'll get you off of that, and that's not going to be an issue for you anymore." I was like, "Oh my god, he's so smart."
Thanks for being a good doctor that's trying to avoid that with me. I appreciate it.
I know, right?
Thanks.
Well, I mean,
nobody wants burning bladders.
Well, I asked him, I said, why is it that my kidneys feel like they hurt? They just hurt so bad. And he said, even though it's not showing up as an infection or anything on your blood work, he said, if you can't empty your bladder completely, then it kind of just stews in there a little bit and it will hurt your kidneys.
Jesus.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, there we go. Problem solved. Thank you, Dr. Genius.
Who wants bladder stew?
Preppers. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be. No, you're absolutely right. That would be something you sit down at we eat all of. That's like some life. That's some life below zero shit. Like we eat all of the moose. Really? What is
all of it?
This is bladder stew. Go ahead and eat it up. It's so good. It's so
and
healthy.
I'm a vegetarian, just like that. Look at that.
It's healthy. What's this right here? And that right there is moose nose.
Can't I just eat dick instead?
Right. Can I just
moose stew? I'm not looking forward to eating dick.
I'm just gonna get this bread and that moose dick. At least I can close my eyes and envision that to be a big long sausage that you did not take the hair off of. Thanks, sir.
I did start that. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
I'm an idiot.
All right. Well, we're going to get to the meat of what we are doing this episode. Before, I know. It's the best segue I could think of. We were talking about meat.
Good job.
You like that?
This is nuts.
Yeah. So before we get started in that, here's just a public service announcement.
Pray.
Perfect. Right. Afterwards, we will. Public service announcement to everybody. Just happened to pop up on my phone, so I figured, this must be the universe trying to let me know to let other people know clearly.
Oh, don't get it.
Here it is. This just in. Consumer Reports urges USDA to remove Lunchables from national school lunch programs due to high levels of lead, sodium, and cadmium. A test of 12 store-bought versions of Lunchables and similar snack kits found relatively high levels of these three. So they're demanding for the USDA to get them removed off of the national school lunch program. The fact that Lunchables
isn't even a fucking option for kids these days at school. They can just pick one. Stupid.
Yeah, it's on the national school lunch program. How much of a mail-in is that? So you are the national. You're the group that sits around and thinks up, okay,
for the whole nation, what are we going to decide to be the on? We got to come up with a program for these kids.
I'd like to offer up spinach. No, fuck that. We don't need that.
No, okay.
No, none of that. Organic? No, fuck that.
No, that costs a lot. Right. You know what? We're removing you from your position. You're just going to be a member. You're not going to have a position anymore. Spinach, fuck you. So
we're putting rocks on the menu.
Yeah, I mean, we can't get spinach in Pittsburgh. You got to think wide. You got to think the nation, not just Oregon. Think the nation. God damn it! Well, who invited her anyway? How about, you know what? Lunchables. Kids love them. They're
barely meat. They're almost vegan.
They already come packed. I mean, if you don't want the meat,
it's like an exercise. You get to put it together however you want. It's customizable.
If you don't want the meat, you just skip that section. It still has crackers and cheese.
It's barely meat anyway, if we're being honest. I mean, it's mostly lead.
It is. It just can hang on the shelf a little bit tougher than real meat. That's all. It's close your eyes meat. That's what it is.
It's McDonald's meat. Not really meat at all.
Yeah, there's 460 to 740 milligrams of sodium in each one of these.
Highly processed. Highly processed.
But my response to this is, why is this a surprise?
Right. And is Lunchables, is the issue with Lunchables going to be what kicks America in the ass and says finally, hey guys, wake up. We are feeding our people complete shit. We're poisoning ourselves.
Like, yo, I mean, I was making a joke about the meat, but if you've had a Lunchable like once and didn't even eat the whole thing, just half of it, just one slot of something in it, you're sitting back going, this is definitely something you would eat if shit was really bad and like, you know, you found a pack of it after the flood receded or something like that. Then,
right, and grass wasn't an option, or
then you go for a Lunchable because you're just foraging for whatever the fuck humanity might have had.
If you go foraging and you find a Lunchable, that's some bad fucking luck. Okay?
Well, I mean, you do it. You see all these, apocalyptic movies. They go foraging and they find this drugstore, a convenience store. Oh, hey, let's go see if there's anything good in there, like alcohol and hydrogen peroxide. Oh shit, check it out. What, canned food? Close. Lunchable. What? Okay. Wow. I've not had one of those in a while. Hey, let's take some because you know what? Food is food, and I'm tired of caterpillars. True. Let's get them. And that's how it happens. That's how it fucking happens.
No, see, I would be like, I'm fine. I will be okay. Yeah, and if I don't, then...
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah. All right, well...
also, rest in peace, OJ.
Yeah. Wow. Didn't we talk about him once? I think we did.
Who knows? We talk about a lot of people.
I think we did because it was that whole thing, that whole question of if I thought he did it. And I expounded on that.
Did you think he did it?
No.
You don't think he did it?
I think he's an accomplice in the fact that he helped the person that did it.
Fair.
But
how about that?
I don't look at someone with that much of an arthritic condition able to jump a 12-foot wall, come down off that.
You get enough adrenaline pumping through you, you can lift a fucking car. Come
down off that wall and then take over two able-bodied people standing there while you're holding a knife. So,
maybe he had a Monster Energy drink. You don't know. Those things are powerful.
No, I think he's protecting the person that did it, and
well, now I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, people feel like they got the culprit. I feel like though the way they went about doing it, and that the person that they should have been looking into, totally, distraction. They were totally distracted on getting the big fish. And OJ was the big fish, and DNA sucked. That was like the first major case that DNA was used, and I think the way they read it, it just wasn't really precise. We can get deeper into it. I just feel like that's the whole thing, but it's conspiracy-ish, if you will, if we get deeper into it. But what we're here about, boys and girls,
praise Jesus, praise the Lord.
We've put this off long enough. We've alluded to it, so now we're going to dedicate the rest of this episode to religion. And
we're sorry.
Nope. I know we did the disclaimer earlier, but I feel like at this particular point, I want to make sure that people understand that if you're listening to this, we're likely going to have varying views, discussions, points, probably going to make light and or jokes about certain things that maybe you feel really near and dear. You might be a practicing whatever. And this episode is not about bashing religion as much as it is a discussion on our experience with religion, the dinosaurs' experience,
as wrong as they could be.
Yeah, the dinosaurs' experience and my experience, and it is definitely not something that either of us are assuming to be your experience. I myself have really devout religious people in my family that
beat the shit out of each other. So
well, there's that, but then also, have point blank told me I'm going to hell. So
awesome. So I'll join you there because I get that a lot too.
Thanksgiving is always great. Any holiday, anytime all of us can get together. And, I don't know if I go to piss and they all rock, paper, scissors or draw straws to see who's the one that's going to be the one that approaches me and asks me, how's my relationship with the Lord? And if it's not right, then okay, of course I'm going to hell. It's a reoccurring discussion. But anyway.
That's kind of, what's the word for it?
I think it starts with a J.
Janky?
Oh, well, there's that one too. I didn't think about that one. You're right. I was thinking nothing, but no, janky is good.
No, I think it's awful bold of them to just assume that
it's awful janky.
If you do worship a god, which god that is?
Yeah. It's so many different things, so many different. So let's dive.
I know this is why we're doing it, and this is why we've put it off.
Yeah, because I think another reason why is like, I don't think the dinosaur and I have never really had like a in-depth religious conversation either. So I don't know.
But I have a feeling that this is going to go great because you and I both were just like, we try to understand each other's perspective, even if we don't agree or only if we somewhat agree. Mm-hmm. We do respect each other enough that it transcends.
Yeah.
Our love for each other and our friendship transcends any hatred that we could conjure up.
It's not based or it's not based off of religion, nor the continuance based on a discussion of religion. Like, okay, if we're off in this way, then this will be our last episode, and don't text me no more. Fucking hate you. I don't want your demons coming on me. Yeah. So, all right. So we get into it. We try to be as on top of this as possible. We thought it over a lot, and then we even came up with questions that we can ask each other and figure out. Do you even want to go through the questions or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to.
Or would that seem too clinical, like we're running a survey on each other?
Well, put your gloves on. We'll get after it.
All right. Well, cool. Whatever. So. I mean, you can go first if you want. Like, when did you start in religion? And And if you want me to go first, it kind of sets the whole.
No, so I can answer this. There's it's kind of a loaded question because when did I start in religion?
That's what I was going to redefine it. Like, what religion? Like, when do you recall? Like, oh, okay, this is religion. Okay, I mean, because like some people just literally grew up in the church.
When I was little, my parents, or my mom and my stepdad, they the one who was such a shitty person that karma got to him and he fell and hit his head in his own apartment because he was high on shit, and now he's a vegetable and they have to keep him sedated because he's so perverted that he tries to molest the orderlies at the home that he's in.
God works in mysterious ways. Okay, hold on with that story. Here we go.
Yeah.
Damn, that story got me drinking right now.
So yeah, he's a shit human being, but you know.
Jesus, that was an unloading right there. My God. Like, as soon as I thought it was going to end, it's like, wow.
I think I might need some therapy for that.
Wow. He's now in a home. Wow. He's what? To the orderlies? Gee. What?
Oh, yeah. They have to keep him sedated or he'll, molest him.
Oh, my God. Okay. So
he's just a disgusting human being.
So you found
anyway, he tried to touch me. Actually, he did touch me once. And, yeah, that was not cool.
Fucking hell.
I know. It's good. It's terrible.
And by the way, everybody, just in case you're wondering, this is the first question. This is just the first.
Right. I told you, we're sorry.
This is just based on the first question. So this is why we've been taking so long to address this.
This is going to be a 4-hour episode. Surprise.
Fucking hell. So you started off in a religion. And
we were going to a Baptist church, which is hilarious because this is Texas and we're in the Bible Belt and it's the South and we have fucking just, of course, Southern Baptists.
There's like this
great
understanding of you have to go and you have to be.
So I was being facetious whenever I said great people. I'm sure that there are Southern Baptists that are super great people, but I also know that there are Southern Baptists that are truly pieces of shit, and they think that they're doing the Lord's work, but they are so misguided.
Yeah,
and not to say that I know what exactly the Lord's work is.
Yeah.
Or what Lord. What Lord there is. I mean, it could be the Lord of the alien people. Fucking, I don't know.
Who knows?
But what I can tell you is that for me, religion is about putting more positive into the world than negative and receiving more positive from the world than negative, no matter what your circumstance.
Okay.
So that's where the hope and the faith comes in, right? Like I have to realize, I have to feel that it's going to be okay. No matter what, it will be okay. That's like this whole cancer thing. I know that I was going to be okay. And if that meant that I died, then if I died, it would be okay. It's so fine. Yeah.
So you started off as a kid in Southern Baptist in Texas.
And then we moved over to Methodist, which, is a little bit more liberal. You could drink and talk about it. Yeah. The Baptists, they drank. They just didn't fucking talk about it because you weren't supposed to.
Right. It was understood. Yeah. There's no rules being broken. That's just Saturday night.
Yeah, exactly.
And Friday.
So then, we had stopped going to church, and I didn't start going back to church until I was, probably 20.
Okay.
And then I was doing it because I was trying to live in what I thought was the right way because that's how I was raised. So, I had a boyfriend and we were together for a long time. And then everybody was like, hey, when are you going to get married? And so I thought I was doing that. And then they were like, hey, when are you going to have a kid? When are you going to get a house? When are you blah, blah, blah. So I'm like going through the steps. Right. And of
Yeah.
what I considered life was supposed to be.
Right. This okay. I'm an adult now. I need to be doing these things this way, this order. This is how. And okay, now I got a boyfriend. Eventually, within 3 years, we need to be doing these things to get married. And right after we get married, have a baby. Because God forbid you're pregnant while getting married. Because then it's kind of like hurry up and do the vows so you don't have a bastard. That's it in a nutshell, everybody.
Drop that fucking kid right here.
Yeah,
I will do it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
So, and then I just thought that it was part of the motions that I was supposed to go through, but it came up a little empty to me,
right? Because
I really didn't truly understand. I didn't actually really connect that well, with Christianity, which was my chosen religion. Am I still a Christian? I don't know if I qualify. I mean, I don't know what does that mean?
I mean that's okay. So just unpacking a little bit what you were saying, like you got to a point where it was feeling empty, I guess, because you were at some portions of this doing what you thought was needing to be done, and then coming to, okay, I did that. Now what? Wait, what do I do now? Okay, I'm doing all these things. Is there something else I'm supposed to be doing? Because I just did that. What else? I don't know what else. And so then on top of that, then you're trying to get the definition of, are you still a Christian? I think that's to me, without getting into my story, to me, that's something you define yourself. And if you define it as that type of, if you define it in that category, then that's what works for you. It's always weird because you'll meet another Christian and be like, well, I don't do all that shit. What do you mean? Well, I do it because I'm a Christian. Well, I guess my Christian and your Christian are different. It's like when you meet
it's up
up
for
with
interpretation
somebody,
a lot of times.
Yeah, and which then bleeds over to religion in itself. There's a lot of interpretation in it. If that was not the case, people will say, well, Christian is Christian. Okay, cool. If the interpretation was not the case, you wouldn't have all these different religions. You would just have one. So, I mean,
well, I mean, if we're being completely just putting down all the weapons, and just talking.
Sure.
There really is only one religion, and that is love.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to get poetic with it, but
unless you're satanic, I guess. So that's actually technically a religion as well. Well, I mean, it could be.
It's kind of it's one of those things where it's like it's something because someone said it's something. But true. But someone in it is not seeing it the way that the other person is portraying it to be. I mean, you're saying, like in regards to satanic or Satanism, I'm not, promoting either one of them, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen more hatred, I would say, from a Baptist to a Catholic than I had from a Baptist to a Satanist. And that's kind of sort of because the Catholic is more tangible, whereas you're not really seeing Satanism, Satanist church on every other corner or something like that. You're not really able to go up to a Satanist and go, hey, rebuke you. But with a Catholic, I've sat in church services. I know everyone. I know you're sitting back going, what the fuck? He was in a church service? Yes. Just wait. But I've sat in church services that part of the sermon was about how we should stand against Catholics and Catholicism. It's so weird because we're both praising the same person, right? Yeah, but they do it differently, and that's where they are wrong. Oh, okay. Tricky, because I can't eyeball them on the street. So I don't know what the difference is, you know. Right about here, our audio dropped and then we came right back on. That's okay. I talk like a I talk like a drug addict. Don't worry about it.
Okay, crackhead Curtis.
And then that's when I said bubblegum don't taste like the other bubblegum, because grape ain't grape. Grape is really sarsaparilla. You ever had sarsaparilla? I used to drink sarsaparilla when I was a kid. Shut up, dude. You are a heroin. So yeah, I think I get what you're saying in regards to that, and you get to that point where you're like trying to define yourself within the same. You're trying to define yourself within the examples that you're given, but then coming up to these uncharted spots where you're like, okay, so I did all the things. What's next? And then you ask people and this shit like, well, just keep living your life for Jesus. Okay, but what do you mean, like repeat all the shit I just did? What? How so? Explain. Just keep doing it. Standing in the faith. Oh, okay, fuck.
There's no floor. I don't
understand.
Right.
That doesn't really give me an answer.
And sometimes when there is a floor, it's real slippery.
I was like, I don't
apparently, because people be priests and stuff be molesting children and whatnot, and that's okay, but not really. So for me, I think I'm probably more spiritual than I am religious.
Yeah. So
now, if that coincides with or aligns with Christian values, that's great. I love that because I want to see more people be more positive and be more connected to the spirit.
Right.
Whatever spirit that looks like. I don't think it has to be Christianity. I think it is what you make it. Okay. And as long as you're putting in more good than you are bad, and as long as you're putting more positive than you are negative, then you're good. So essentially what I'm saying is that I feel that I'm more spiritual than I am religious. But and if that aligns with positive values of other religions, great, that's fine. Because for me, it's more about love and about putting more love and positive energy into the universe and into the world and into the people around you and into the people that you know and don't know, rather than putting in negative. And as long as I can leave this earth knowing that I've put in more positive energy than I have negative energy, then I think I'm in a better space to be accepted by whatever deity or architect there is out there.
So, and I want you to do the same for me with the questioning. Okay. So do you feel like with that being that you're like, okay, I feel like I'm more spiritual now instead of one of the popular, branches of religion out there, do you feel like that is considered a little bit too woo-woo and just an easy out? Or do you feel like that is more of the not giving a shit, not being defined by someone else's interpretation of what in your case, Christian should be, and leaving it up to being accepting of everyone? And so to be accepting of everyone, you are more spiritual, and in that way, you're not held by the parameters of a particular religion. And if somebody needs help, they need help, regardless if they're Muslim or whichever that is of an opposite, so to speak, religion.
So I don't.
That was a long question.
Okay. I don't think that it's an easy way out. I think it's actually harder because with if you're set to one religion, then you follow those rules, and that's what you believe, and you have faith in those rules. For me, I think that it's much bigger than one religion. I think it's everything, and for oh fuck me. I just forgot what I was going to say. God dang it.
It's all right. I can fill in the blank. I and help you. So I totally get it. Like I said, be the devil's advocate and, questioning me as well, that I would appreciate it.
What do you mean
so
by that?
That was one of the. Well, I'm just saying, like with that question,
right.
instead of me just letting you say you feel more spiritual and then just letting that ride into the next one, it's like, okay, do you feel like that's kind of a woo-woo thing, a little easy thing, or like you just pointed out, no, you feel like it's harder because of this, because, I think some people are going to, and I'm not trying to channel people that are listening, but I think that some people are going to listen that are really staunch in particular religions, and they're going to click because this is the religion episode. Right. And they're going to say, I want to see what these two fucks talk about. And of course, I think if they listened to any of the previous episodes in this season and or any of the episodes in season 1, they're going to come with some loaded thoughts, especially because, she's definitely lesbian, so she's probably not going to have the same views because I already feel a certain way about anyone in the LGBTQ IA plus ampersand community, and he is just a fuck all. So he's just, he's clearly a fuck all.
See, what they would be doing though is thoughting and putting negative energy into the universe.
Well, right, but I'm saying though, from that person's perspective, it's they're standing strong and being a on point for God at all times, even in the things that they listen to, and they're getting some validation of that by saying, yeah, see that of course she's going to be spiritual because God doesn't want her anyway. She's sinning, and I think that.
Well, I mean,
we're not trying to. That's why we said that in the beginning. We're not trying to turn people's heads. We're not trying to stand up for this, that, or the other. We're not evangelizing. Mm-hmm. We're just talking about a topic that really, really affects people. I think that some of the things that we've talked about, and I know that you mentioned it, and there's caveats for me in regards to saying it, but you've mentioned trauma and stuff like that, and I think that sometimes, in some ways, there's a degree of religion that's in some trauma, and a lot of people don't talk about it because now you're talking about associating something that is a very negative thing with a very godly thing, and it can't be God. It's got to be the people that are in it. And if that's the case, then why am I experiencing that? Because I thought Jesus loves me, so it's like a lot of tumult. Is a very tricky thing, and sometimes that comes into play with people. And you kind of touched on it just a few minutes ago with priests and kids. So that's why I was saying that. So was there something with you though that started a change?
Yeah, I think, and I'm very curious to hear your experience on this. But,
okay. Yeah. I burned down the house.
What'd you say?
Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm burning down the house. Is that what you said?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm drinking my Canada Dry. Can't wait for Canada Dry to hit back.
To get back with us.
Yeah. Burner.
So, yeah, that's right. We're going to need that protection.
I just sent you that. Yeah, I sent you the email too, Burner.
I think that the change for me happened when I realized that, I realized a couple of things. In Christianity, there is a ton of good, but there's also a ton of bad. And if people are high enough within an organization, they'll be protected. Or if they're in a close enough group of people that say that they're Christians and they do shitty things, but it's okay because it's just them that knows. And the real start and they pray about it and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still shitty stuff. It's still negative energy. So I put that together that, you know, it's really more about good versus evil. And the idea is very romantic that the world is, we can teach the world through one book or, you know, one set of books or, you know, teachings that they can be a better person and they can be Christians and they can blah, blah, blah. But so religion, I mean, spirituality for me it's more pure than religion, because with religion, that's about a group of people that have common values and they worship a common God. With me, the only thing that's between me and God is air. Nothing, just love. That's what's between me and God. That's love. Whatever my God looks like. I don't even fucking know what that looks like. But I mean, do I think that he is a Middle Eastern immigrant? Maybe. Do I think that he's a white man hanging on a cross that's pictured? Maybe. Not, but maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's kind of hypocritical because there are some people that will worship a white God and persecute a brown skin tone or a different religion or somebody from a different area of the world because they don't like who they are. But in all actuality, if they're Christians, then it's pretty obvious that Jesus was Middle Eastern. He was Middle Eastern somehow, somewhere in there. I mean, he wasn't just like, oh my God, it's a miracle. A purebred white man just dropped down in the middle of the fucking desert somewhere. You know, it didn't happen like that.
Sorry,
it seriously just makes no sense to me. So at some point, people aren't being truthful.
You're getting heavy right now.
They aren't being truthful with themselves, and they only want to believe what they want to believe. And if that's what you want to do, fine. But that relationship needs to be between you and God, not you and a group of people, because people fuck up religion. Nobody fucks up my religion because my religion is more spiritual, and it's just me and God. That's it. That's all. He knows, she knows, they know, them knows, whatever the fuck. They know exactly what I'm thinking at all times. If I'm telling the truth, if I'm not, if I'm thinking about lying, if I'm thinking about telling the truth, they know because we're one being together. I'm a part of it.
So you're taking out all the conduits then. You're like, you know what? My relationship with a higher power is my relationship. I don't need this person to facilitate that connection. I don't need these people on this day in this building after these many songs and this many collection plates to make that connection possible.
Yeah, because like, they say that they're all for the good and they're all, you know, everything is, you know, whatever, walking in the light and all that good stuff. Great. That's awesome. And I'm happy for you. But don't be a shitty fucking person once you leave there or hurt people on purpose. There's a difference between, you know, hurting somebody on accident versus literally going out of your way to cause trauma to somebody. Physically, mentally, whatever.
Yeah. Or hurting that person justified by your religion.
Right.
That's another one where you got to do certain things to certain people because the God anointed you to be the one to carry out their will.
Yeah, that makes me want to vomit right there.
That's a.
I mean, it's a shit show.
Yeah,
it takes the purity away from the relationship that you have with God when other people are throwing in their own bias. So anyway, what about you?
When you did all that though, you know, when you came to this conclusion, spirituality overall, how did that look in regards to everyone else that wasn't that way, that was, still Southern Baptist, and now you're not? Or did you just not give a fuck?
It's not,
I have to think that there was a little bit of it. Wait, let me back that up. Did you come out while still Southern Baptist?
No.
Was like,
I mean, when we went to the Southern Baptist church, I mean, I was like maybe up to like 7 years old, and then we went to a Methodist church, and I was there until probably, I don't know, I was 11, and then I didn't have anything to do with it until I was around 20, and that's when I was getting married to a dude, and hadn't come out of the closet, knew that I was different, but thought that this is what I need to do. I mean, I almost didn't marry him. Like,
God will work it out.
Yeah, I mean, literally, my dad said, "You either walk out the door right now, or you walk down that aisle. One of the two. You need to make up your mind." And I looked at the door, and then I looked at
for a long time,
and I was like, "Fucking!" Almost ran for it. But
you're like, "Fuck!" Everybody.
I know. I'm like, "Oh my God, what a shit show!" So. I wish that I would have been brave enough to do that. Just be like, fuck it, whatever. But I wasn't.
But you're like in that, but like you say, you were in that zone of these are the things that I need to do, or I need to be doing these things, and this that I'm feeling right now is just a test of my conviction to continue forward doing those things. At the time, you were still Methodist, but also at the time, your dad kind of knew, you're either going to make that step one way or the other. You're either going to go out the door or down the aisle.
He knew. He could sense it about me.
Right. But then you get to a point where that goes the way it went. I'm not going to take up time going through the whole thing, but clearly that went the way it went.
Oh, okay. So
and eventually,
I was around 20, right? Whenever I was around in between 18 and 20 when all that happened. And then what woke me up out of this whole, like, going through the steps and just playing the game kind of thing. We were trying to have a child, and I couldn't have a child. And I was on 5 times the normal dosage of fertility drugs. And I was a hot fucking mess. Like, I was just emotionally, I was fucking all over the place.
Jesus.
And it finally, came out that I wasn't able to have children. And that sucked. I mean, we were trying for a long time. We had nursery set up, the whole bit.
Right.
Because we just knew that it was going to happen for us, because this was what we were supposed to be doing, right? I mean, so why wouldn't it? Have faith. And that kind of woke me up out of it. And then I moved. We got divorced, and I moved, and I tried again. I tried to go back to church, and this time I went to a church that was in a gay neighborhood. It wasn't a gay church; it was a Methodist church in a gay neighborhood.
Okay. Right. Okay.
And so went there, got saved, was feeling it. Then I met my son's dad, and we went a whole different direction, not church related at all. And, we were just partying, having a good time, blah, 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 blah. And, I mean, he was a blast to hang out with, and I've been a pothead forever. So, I was a pothead when I was in church. I remember the day that I got saved. I was so fucking high. I was so paranoid. I thought, my God, these people know that I'm on something right now. I was standing before the entire fucking congregation trying not to melt down, knowing that they could read my mind.
Oh my God. Everyone in here can read my mind. They know.
My God. Oh my God. They terrible.
They know.
They know.
Because we're all connected. We're all hooked up and connected to God. So
God is telling them right now.
Now that I am being saved, I'm now connected with God. So then they're like, whoa, why do I feel high? Oh, it must be her.
It's a hell creeping up on that bitch.
God damn it. She is not going to get saved. She is not going to get saved. She's tired.
I did try to go back, and then I faltered, of course, and then I got pregnant. Surprise! Who knew I could get pregnant? So, and then, you know, I mean, we didn't really do church until, I didn't go back to church until probably, I don't know, it was after, the biggest relationship in my life up to that point, which superseded the marriages, because there were two men that I married. Like, I tried really fucking hard to be straight. I tried super duper hard to be straight. I thought I just got it wrong on the first one. And then the second one I married because I wanted his last name, if I'm being honest, because I was pregnant. And,
no, I mean, I have to admit something, you know, to at least pat you on the back or whatever. I don't know. But, I mean, you had me. I thought you were straight.
Yeah. I know. Well, you know, I mean, hey, like a good Southern Baptist and a good person in the Bible Belt, I know my role.
I mean, you know, we knew each other when you were married, and you had me. I thought, you know,
when I was married to a man, when I was married to my son's father, you knew me. Yeah, you were over at our house for a Wii tournament, right?
Bravo. Yeah, I was over at your house after having food poisoning. So jolly time. It might have been because I was completely lightheaded from food poisoning.
Probably not right for each other, but super nice.
Yeah, you know what? Probably was super lightheaded and dehydrated from being, you know, just recovering from food poisoning. Are you sick or something? Yeah, but I believed it. I think though that I wasn't like, oh my God, serious when
I came out.
You came out. I was just like, yeah. When you
yeah, you're like, that makes sense. Okay, I can see it.
It wasn't even a came out like you sat me down to tell me. It was one of those things where it just.
Well, I started glowing that rainbow glow that new homos get. You know.
Nah, it just happened.
Was it the flag on the back of my SUV?
No, yeah, right.
Just playing. I've never done that. I've never put a flag on the.
You had the handkerchief out, and you know.
But which pocket and what color?
Yeah, right. But no, I think that for me, it was when I met up with you, and you were with one partner at the time, and I was like, oh, okay. And I think it was just one of those things where that
was up until that point in my life, and even after.
I think so.
I mean, it was.
I think so.
It was. I mean, I married this girl, you know.
But I think though, for me though, it was less on that, more on the whole. It wasn't a thing that you and I talked about. It wasn't a thing like you're saying that you came out to me. It was just a conversation and, oh, by the way, this is blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And we kept moving. We kept it moving. We weren't like, okay, sit me down and explain this to me.
I kind of just roll with the punches. That's what I do. I just operate. And if people can catch up, then great. And if they can't, then they can either spend time worrying about wondering why or not. It doesn't matter to me. I have no.
Here's a move stick. Enjoy. I think that was the mode that you were in at that particular time. You were enjoying the fact that you were in a relationship that was more, regardless of how it ended, but it was more so of the type of what you were more truer to yourself.
For sure.
So at that particular point, it was like, hey, this is who I'm with. This is how I am. And like I just said, if you don't accept that or groove with that or whatever, here's a move stick. Enjoy, be gone. If not, hey, let's hang out and keep the ball rolling.
Even that. I mean, like, I think I realized that there are people in my family that didn't like that I was gay. You know, being gay is in Texas is not fucking easy. I mean, and I know that I'm not trying to say like, oh, everybody else has it easier, because they don't.
Right.
But
No. But, no, that's not the thing that we're talking about. I think it's like, of course, you're going to bring up her being gay. I think that is a component when you're talking about religion. I think that religion has a different light on it when it has a different light on when you're not gay, when you are gay, and when you're gay and trying to be religious, and you're in a gay church, or you're not, or you're gay in a quote unquote straight church or whatever. It's a component because that's part of your journey in a religion,
right?
And it just goes a little. It has a different flair to it when you're LGBTQIA ampersand, because the assumption in religion is always that, unless you're in a gay church, the assumption in religion is that you're straight.
Usually,
because
yeah. Usually, for sure.
That's how, because that's how the good book portrays it.
Well, and I mean,
period.
As Christianity has evolved, it always has been man and woman. I mean, in the Bible, that's the first chapter.
Right. Yeah.
So it was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. That's what somebody told me one time, and I was like, "Enjoy hell." Okay, I don't know what to tell you.
Shit.
I mean, good Lord.
Oh my God.
So
that's what's gonna happen.
Right.
That's what hell's for people. Like all the straight people, all the straight dudes in particular, that are fuckers, and they just shit on people, and they treat people horribly, and they realize it is a hell, and they get to hell, and it's nothing but Steve's down there, and it's like,
and they're all very hungry. They are thirsty
all the time. It's like, it is Steve down here, bitch, and then that's all they hear, and then just black out after.
So after that relationship, which was extremely traumatic, it completely changed and altered who I am as a person.
Okay.
I'll make it short, but we were planning on having a baby, and that went to the fertility clinic and did the whole thing. And then like 2 weeks later, the relationship ended. It wasn't my call.
Yeah.
And it hurt a lot. And I referred back to what my comfort was, which was God, and just talking to God. And it's the same God, deity, spirit, creator, architect, whatever spirit that I talk to now, that I pray to now, because I don't just pray. I actually have conversations with spirit.
I think that's the best way. Really, I think that's
I don't
the
think
best
he
way.
gives a shit if you're on your knees or not. Is it respectful? Sure.
I don't know. Is it?
Whenever I'm laying down in bed and I pray myself to sleep, that's a beautiful thing,
That's some good sleep.
That is good sleep too. So after that whole thing,
and you feel all apologetic when you wake up too. By the way, don't you?
Sorry, real sorry.
You're like, sorry. Oh, I fell asleep on you.
Damn it! That makes 4 years in a row.
God.
It doesn't care. It doesn't care.
Right. It doesn't like shake the bed or some shit. Like, no.
So
what's the bed
after I was catapulted into, trying to find religion and find purpose throughout what was happening, and why did it happen, and why did we have to go through this, and why does it hurt so much, and I thought I was going to die, and I almost did die.
God damn it, religion. Yeah. But, religion is full of whys, isn't it?
Yeah.
God damn.
So
shit. I thought the book had answers. God damn it.
So I was packing up the house with this lady and I.
Right.
And I was in the garage. And I had a box cutter in my hand. And I was trying to open a box because she was demanding that she sees where something is that I had packed up. And I had to go and find this box and like get for something out for her. And I just saw my wrist there, and I had the thing in there, and I thought, I don't have to do this. Like, I can do this. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, I just felt a presence behind me, and it was like, no, like, just no. No. Mm-hmm. Not, this is not it. And I just started crying. And then I thought, well, that's got to be God, mm-hmm. Or I don't know. It was a spirit of some sort. And mm-hmm. So that kind of put me into the whole religious thing. And then I met somebody who was religious. And we had a great relationship, sort of, until mm-hmm. We didn't.
Yeah, until it went the way it went. Yeah.
And then I was at a church. It was a gay church.
Okay.
And I keep saying that like, people fuck up religion. Like, it would be so pure mm-hmm. if people weren't involved, and it can be pure, and that purity is not religion. It's just you and your deity. So that's a spiritual thing.
Right. Right.
But I was going to this church, and it was, gay friendly and trans friendly, and, everybody mm-hmm. was there. And even though I didn't really understand the whole trans thing at the time, because I was just struggling with it, and I felt terrible because I'm like, number one, I'm a Christian. I should be accepting these people no matter what. Number two, just because I don't understand it doesn't mean that it's wrong. Or that it doesn't exist. So I was just having my own little personal process with trying to figure that out, and mm-hmm. And what that looks like, and because it's hard for me to wrap my head around being trans because I'm not trans, Well,
yeah.
But I needed to learn how to say, I don't have to be trans to understand and accept trans. Like, I understand that there are people that, feel a certain way, and they can do what they want, and that's their journey with their God. My journey with my God is this struggle right now, and I need to focus on this struggle, not their struggle. Because the last thing they need is another fucking person trying to worry about mm-hmm. their trans struggle. I mean, fucking hell, these people have been through a lot. So, but there was this guy, and I haven't even told, I just left the church. Like, nobody knew why, or, I didn't tell anybody. I just let it go. I was just like, I'm just moving forward. This one person mm-hmm. said something to me, and it was about my kid, and it was kind of shitty. And mm-hmm. this was supposed to be a place where literally everyone was accepted, no matter what. Acceptance. They had neurodivergent people that, like, they just accepted everybody. I mean, somebody could be screaming obscenities the entire fucking church service, and they would totally be fine with that if it was a neurological disorder. Mm-hmm. And I will say, at that church, I did witness the most pure thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was a Down syndrome trans kid. And that opened my fucking eyes, because they are Down syndrome. They weren't choosing to make this choice. This was just who they were. So anyway, but this one guy, he said something pretty shitty to me about my kid. And so I was like, no matter where I go, this is the most accepting place I've ever been in a church mm-hmm. setting. And there's always going to be assholes like that. So I was like, I'm done with church. Yeah. Religion is fucked up. And the reason why religion is fucked up, not because of the deity, it's because of the people that worship the deity. If you worship him in such a pure form that it's just you and him, or you and them, or whatever.
Yeah, that purity, it's hard to do.
It is. And even the relationship that I have with him, it might not always be positive. And I say him because I'm just conditioned to say him.
Right, yeah.
It might not always be positive, because there are some things that happen and I'm just like, damn it, like, fucking why? Really? Mm-hmm. You know, we disagree on some stuff sometimes, but it's always pure because what I'm feeling is truly what I'm feeling. And there's no sense in me fucking hiding it or trying to hide it from him or it because they're going to know. They already know. They're one step ahead of me all the time.
Yeah. If you go based on the whole omnipotence and omniscient and all the omnis, yeah, you get this, you get to this point where you're like, okay, well, I mean, fuck me. I'm talking to myself because really, if you are omnipotent, you already know what I'm going to say before I say it. So me saying it to you is really just basically
for my own benefit.
Me listening to myself. It's me listening to myself saying it like, so that I can somehow say, well, I said it to you. And, you know, really, you're like, yeah, I already know that. And I know what you're going to say to me 5 days from now, too, by the way.
Right. I know what your last words are going to be, if I'm being honest.
You really don't have to say it, but 5 days from now, you're going to still say it, even though I'm telling you you don't have to, because I already know. Even if you don't say it, I still know because you're literally thinking about it right now.
Right.
Did I tell you who I am? I told you?
I've got tricks in my pocket. Did I tell you?
I'm just telling you, there's this chick in Spain right now. She's praying to me for the same shit she hasn't gotten 3 Christmases in a row. So
she's keeping the hope alive, though. Good for her.
Right.
So that's how I came into and then out of religion, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Am I a religious person? If you want to call it that, sure. I mean, whatever people feel like they need to label it as, whatever. I just know that I'm a really spiritual person. I'm super connected to spirit, and I just try to put as much positive out there that I can.
All right.
In the most shitty and petty way possible, of course. Caveat.
Yeah, you're a spiritual person. You're not a religious person. I mean, I know you just say you're a religious person. I guess that's my take on you, is that you're a spiritual person, not a religious person. Because I lump it in like, if you're religious, then you are based in some religion.
Fair. Yeah, that's true.
But if you're void of religion, and you're plotting, you're going through life on your own terms, course, without the confines of a particular religion, then you're more spiritual. And I get that, because you whip out some sage from time to time, and you do some cleansing, and you got, you go for crystals and vibes and all this kind of stuff. I totally get it. I
don't have a whole lot of crystals. I need to up my crystal game, I think.
See, there you go.
I could be better at that, I think. That's just positive. As long as it's in a good intention, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not down with like tarot cards or anything like that. A coworker of mine, she got me, because she's super into tarot or whatever the fuck you call it. And I think that's the technical term. And so she got me this set of fucking, what is it, like oracles or something?
I was gonna say like spirits or angel cards or something like that.
It's an oracle set, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" So she was like, "It's just a set of like it's not tarot. It's not tarot. It's a how to connect with your ancestors," because she knows I'm like super connected to the earth and my ancestors and stuff. So because I feel like for me, part of that spirituality that I have with God is knowing that I'm here for a reason, but I wasn't the first one here, and my ancestors have touched the same earth that I have, and that's a really powerful thing. So we're connected in that way, but I think that we're also connected interdimensionally. Anyway, so I could go on for days about that, but I mean, just there's so much.
No, yeah, I think and thanks for sharing all that, because the journey of it is interesting to me, because the end where you are now is more, open to different elements of what other people would consider to be of other religions, but not. It's not about that for you. It's about you connecting with whatever somebody else wants to call it, whether it's deity, whether it's ancestors, whether it's higher power or spirit, this, that, or the other. It's you're looking to refine and better and cultivate yourself in a more positive way, and you want people that are going to be positive around you and interact with people that are positive in order to continue on that journey for yourself, because in the end all you can do is do what you can for yourself and hope that that helps someone along the way.
Right. I don't want to come back as a fucking dung beetle, if I come back, I want to come back as something good, or have a say in what I come back as. Like that.
Right. Or have a say. Hey,
no, I mean, really though, some people believe.
Cool if I came. Yeah, right. Which again goes back to what I was just saying earlier, where you've accepted other aspects of what some would consider of a particular religion in and of itself, like reincarnation and coming back. We're like, oh well, now you're Hindu. It's like, no, well, a lot of religions and a lot of people consider reincarnation as a means of transitioning into another state in order to understand and better yourself, continuing this journey until you get to a higher state of betterment.
Right. And I think the most important thing for me personally is to realize that, and I have realized this, the older that I get, the more I truly do realize it. I really don't know shit. Like, I think I might have an idea, and it's a stab in the fucking dark. It could be anything out there. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm going to burn in an eternal pit of ice cubes because I haven't worshipped the cinnamon toast crunch god. I mean, there's no fucking telling. But I can tell you what and what love is and how pure that is. And I can also tell you what evil looks like. So
yeah, I can totally understand and relate with that. I think I think that's the beauty of it, is that when you're able to break it down outside of all the different supposed mandatory things that needs to be within. You have to be this way, you have to be that way, you have to, tithe and do this and that and the other. When you break it down to the simplicity of it, it comes out the same. It's like, we don't know, and you get to the point where you start to realize how much you don't know, and the things that you thought you knew really have been redefined, or
just fucking
really
wrong.
Was based on. Well, yeah, it was based on the information that somebody else gave you, that was based on their limited understanding of this, that, or the other, or their prejudices, or whatever.
Or my own capacity to understand what they were even talking about,
Yeah, right. So, right. Exactly.
I'm so curious.
Yeah, you are.
I really am. And since this is the episode, I'm just going to go for it. So I know that you said that your family is religious, and we've talked about it, on and on, just hinting there and here and there. I know that you're pretty private about stuff like this. So if there's anything that you don't want to say, just tell me, and that's totally fine. I respect it.
I totally appreciate it.
Because I know that it is a lot. You've been through a lot, and there's a lot of trauma associated with it too. So did your
more than a trauma?
Were they super religious before you were born?
Yes.
And what religion, if you don't mind me asking?
Like they met in church. So it's Southern Baptist also. People have a distinction where they say, which Southern Baptist, which again, it just sort of speaks to the fallacy of religion for me. So, my entire family, like back religious, just
Southern Baptist,
this person,
really? Wow.
This person in the church, this person's in the church. My uncle, he never carried a Bible because he committed it to memory and could tell you exactly where to go. And this this chapter, this verse, it says this, and you're like, fucking wait. You're like, God damn it, it says it word for word.
I can't do. I never could do that, but I have read the Bible from front to back, the entire thing, New and Old Testament.
Well, I'm looking at the New American Standard. Well, then it will say this way.
Oh, well, then let me correct my language. Wow.
It will say it will say it this way. Okay, but I don't really agree with that. That's been altered, so I wouldn't stand by that. You could stick to the King James version. Oh my God,
like I can't oust whatever.
I'll try and stick it to chronological order from the then to the now. I know we'll have to take a break for urination and everything because I just drank a fucking lot.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I might have to pineapple.
Yeah, I'll have to. Should we
just tell people what that is?
Should we? No, fuck them. They know what pineapple means.
Should we? What? Do you want to take one now?
Okay. So, yeah, I was wondering, but I can get through. I can get through the preface. Much like you grew up in religion, I grew up in it. There was no. I started it. I was in it. I never was not. And
what was your first? How old were you when you had your first memory of church?
Ever.
No, I mean, like, how old do you think that you were? Like, was it 3 years old? Do you remember being there as an infant?
Yeah, I mean, as early as possible. I mean, like I said, it was always. My mom was in multiple
like groups, committees.
Yeah, committees and groups. My dad also, my uncle was a pastor.
And your parents, just to be clear, your parents were married when you were born. They had been married for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been married. So my uncle was a pastor. My dad was my dad was a deacon. My mom was in the choir.
Your dad was a deacon?
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, and like his uncle was the pastor, so it's basically
a family business.
Like he, for some portion he lived with them too, and then
do they get parsonages?
I'm sorry, what?
Do the pastors get parsonages?
Oh, what's it mean?
Like a place to stay, a home. It's a parsonage.
Oh no, they had their own. They had their own house. Okay. So they're like in different committees within it, and they also ran did a lot of with the books and everything. It's so the business side of the church. So for me, like. Later on, just to get to the other side of the bookend, later on, I would tell people, I literally can kick back and not go to church again. I've gone that much.
I'm qualified now. Okay.
Like, you never go to church. Trust me. I've gone to church more than you will in your life. I've already done it. So, and by that, people are like, I don't know. So when I say I grew up in church, I'm saying like
literally,
and just explaining to you like what my parents were in. I was there
every fucking day.
Every sermon, every service, every service that was at the church, every service that was at another church because we were invited to another church.
Every potluck.
So my dad would open the church. So that meant we were there before everyone else setting up the church. So then that Sunday school, that is
choir practices.
That is then. No, didn't go there.
You didn't go to choir practice?
Sunday school.
That's what's wrong with you. That's why I didn't stick.
Well, because it was on a weekday. So we couldn't do that because you had to go to school.
Oh no, we did both.
So
we did both. Yeah, for sure.
So it was Sunday school. It was the 11 o'clock service, and then if there was a 1 o'clock or a 3 o'clock service, to those as well.
See, we had 11 o'clock
Typically it was,
service, and then we had a 9 o'clock service, and we had an 11 o'clock service, and then that same day we had a 5 o'clock service.
Yeah, we would have a 3 or 5 sometimes. I misspoke when I said the 1 o'clock.
That's okay. I was like, ooh, what kind of Baptist you go to?
Yeah, the 11 o'clock rolled into 1. So it was 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So we were, it was always at any of those. And then later on, because of that, then it became a thing, like you were saying earlier, you had these examples, if you will, for a lack of better definition of what it was you're supposed to do. See that kid right there. They are about to get baptized, which then when they get baptized, now they are really a part of the church. And now they will start doing this, they will join this auxiliary or this group in the church. They'll either be in the choir or they'll be a part of the usher board or whatever in the church. That's what happens when you get baptized. So if you're growing up with kids in the church, then it's sort of like, well, shit, if Timmy and Amy get baptized, I need to go ahead and get baptized too, because I don't want to be one of the kids that are straggling behind from getting baptized. Well, if you've listened to any episode of our podcast, you will know I was the last kid to get baptized.
They were like, oh, we're not sure what's going to happen. This church might explode. We put holy water on this motherfucker's head.
Yeah, because early on, I'm already seeing, I'm peeping the game. I'm like, yo, okay, hold on. So this is a forever thing? Okay, so wait.
Wait, this is like a gang. Like, I'm in this.
What? Yeah, right. I'm getting, instead of jumped in, I'm getting dunked in. And so
Jesus done dunked me.
Yeah, I got dunked in by Jesus. So back off, bitch. I'm a part of Jesus' crew. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, so wait. So when do I, I'm just now getting to the point I'm deciding I want to get baptized. Give me some air. You're talking about I got to come back out of the water and I already know what it is I'm going to do in the church? I don't know.
Been in there for 2 seconds. Come on now.
I just want to sit on the pew like I've been doing. No, you have to know how you're going to serve the Lord after that. I'm like, well, shit, I don't
see. I'm glad I was not baptized
God damn it.
or saved in a Baptist church.
I don't know yet. Well, you better decide, because otherwise, why are you getting baptized if you're not ready to serve? It's like, fuck. Okay. So I'm already like, yo, okay, hold on. I need more time. If this is going to be like a forever promise to a deity that's just everywhere, already knows my thoughts, then he already knows I'm on the fence. So fuck it, yo. Hey, yo, I think that that was also one of the initial points.
Tell your parents I'm still in negotiations with them.
Right, exactly. Jesus, can you tell them that we are still in conference with my future relationship with you? Can you just tell them that? Because I've tried, and they're like,
just dating right now. We're not ready for that commitment yet.
Yeah. Okay. This is our second outing to IHOP, Jesus. I don't want to go perm right now. Can we just enjoy this moment?
Let's just live in each other, okay?
God damn it! So we can't finish.
You said, "God damn it to God." Come on.
Right.
You're like,
you say, "God damn it to Jesus." God damn it, Jesus. So
I'm gonna pack my bag for hell right now.
I don't know why I'm telling my story. It's like literally the way I'm telling it. They already know the ending, but it's like this is so much foreshadowing in every word that he says.
So what I think what you're going to say is that you went to go get baptized, and they tried to put you under, but you couldn't go under. Like they kept pushing you and pushing you, and you wouldn't go.
It was like dead. Yeah, it was like I was in the Dead Sea. I just floated the whole time. Okay, I really gotta take a
Okay,
break.
pineapple
We'll be
pie.
right back with the rest of it. I'm about to baptize myself right now in this chair. Little yearly baptism. So what was that?
I don't know. We were in the
So
middle of
yeah,
some. I'm loving this shit.
everyone bursting, huh? You
I said
what?
I'm loving this shit.
Oh, everyone bursting into flames at the baptism. Right, that's where we were. Okay,
Right.
so
Naturally.
I think though that happened during that time period. That's where my whole, I think like writing down some of the questions of what we were to be talking about and asking each other, that comes up, like, where did things start changing? I think mine changed over time, but this was like the start of it. And I'm talking like 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm asking questions like, okay, so if
At five,
so, are
five,
there?
6, 7, 8 years old.
I'm asking stuff that I'm finding that other people
Wow.
are able to answer.
You are far beyond me.
And that's where I'm like,
I
so
didn't do
if
that
I
until my
get,
30s.
so are people like when they get baptized? So there's like people that aren't baptized, and there's people that are. And I'm sitting down with my parents, right? And like, these are the two best examples besides my uncle, and asking him, because I would just sit in his office at the church and just ask him stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and he would just sit there smoking his fat cigar, answering shit, and I'm like, okay. So I'm having these theology classes, right? But
Essentially.
it's yeah, and I started to realize that I can ask him questions, and he would, chuckle and answer them. And I think that it wasn't really thought that I was capturing it or connecting. But then when I would talk to my parents about it, it was like an immediate, that's the devil trying to take over.
What?
You wouldn't be, because they're trying to distract you. And that's why you're interested in hearing about this and that and this religion and that. Because my questions, I felt like it was something that, okay, as long as you all have been in the faith and you're doing this in the church, and other churches rely on you for more information. Like my dad he would be like called to other churches to speak and stuff like that. He was everything but a official preacher. I mean, every night he's reading scriptures and commentary and stuff. Like there was a lot of a lot of time to relate with my dad only happened at church.
Oh, sure. I can see that.
Because he would come home from work and then maybe read the news, look at the news, but then he would go read scripture.
Right.
And when he's reading scripture,
You got to write your
like
sermons and all that stuff.
Well, no, it's behind closed doors. You don't interrupt kind of thing. So there was interaction with my mom, but like, you got to wait till that's over. And when that will be over, who knows? Because he might fall asleep in the middle of reading. Please refer to falling asleep while praying. Pretty much the same thing. So I would then sit him down. It's like, okay, so for right now, I'm like one of the people that are unbaptized, and there's other people, and they're sinners. And then if I get baptized, then all my sins are washed away, and I'm a member of the church. But I'm still going to the church, even though I'm not a member. Like, I can still go, right? Okay, so I can still go, even though I'm not baptized. I get it. I'm a sinner. I get it. So is it sort of like a wall up where it's like saved here and unsaved there? No. Okay. So,
I mean, you could just say that you were saved.
Like, right. And so that's what I was asking him then. It was like, so how is it that saved and unsaved are in the same church? Don't you just want saved in there? Well, that's part of getting the unsaved. Saved is part of the mission of the church. But we have to wait for them to come in? Yeah. Why don't we go get them? I mean, if I'm out of the church and I'm unsaved, I'm kind of doing what I do outside of the church, right? I'm not really waking up one day and saying, you know what? I'm unsaved. I need to go to church and get it. And so it's like, no, you're thinking about it. You know, that's not how it works. It's like, well, how does it? It just works. It's like, well, so I got to the point where I was asking things and I was not getting answers. Why do you think
he was in there studying all the fucking time? He's trying to figure it out himself.
Exactly. Well, and that's where a lot of things started to become more and more apparent to me. It's like, okay, of anybody I would think that could explain things and not just immediately shut it down and equate it to the devil, I would think it would be him and them for that matter. So that's where I started having a lot of conflicting things going on with it. And then, you know, some of the kids and some of us would get baptized, and now, okay, of course, we're now going to be in our little organizations and doing our own things. Well, now that meant more church time, and now that meant going to other churches, doing more church things. So at the height, I was probably going and doing church functions in addition to Sunday, probably 2 to 3 other times of the week, right. In some capacity.
Oh, excuse me, I just sneezed. Whew.
Yeah. So in some capacity, I was doing that kind of thing. And so you get to where you are showing up at places where other family members that don't go to your church, they're already out and they're already like eating and stuff, because we would meet up with the rest of the family members to eat on Sundays, and they are like, yo, we're done, right? Y'all are in there for like
all day.
Yeah, we open up the church and we don't leave until 3. Yeah, it's
a fun time.
It's a fucking every bit of that day was committed to church. So you're coming back home at night, and
aren't you supposed to rest on that day anyway? So,
well, that's a different religion. That's a different religion. The whole Sabbath and all that kind of stuff. That's teetering into Seventh Day Adventists.
I'm just saying, there's supposed to be a day of rest in there, but you always doing shit, running committees and all sorts of making tea for elderly and all sorts of shit.
Right. Fundraisers, the whole, yeah.
Lock-ins, those? Super fun.
Right?
Creepy.
Yeah, no, we didn't have any of those. It wasn't in a neighborhood you wanted to be locked in. So
Right.
There's that. I think, but they did do that on New Year's. They had for New Year's, I forget what it was called. It's not, it's called watch service. And I don't know why the name, but basically you go to church at night, and the idea is
you're looking for the bright light of Jesus Christ.
Close. Okay. You start the new year.
Oh yeah. On New Year's Eve
in church service. Yes. So yeah, you go on New Year's Eve at night, and you start the new year in church service, right. And it's like
it's like setting the stage for the year,
right? Because the whole belief was what you're doing at the turn of the year is what you'll be doing for the rest of the year, which was kind of yeah, like. there's so, like, as you get older, you're like, there's so many better choices. There's so many better choices. Yo, we really gonna be doing this all year?
I'm gonna be fucking smoking
questions.
a blunt and eating a sandwich all at the same time. Let's go.
I got questions because I would love to be doing, something else. As I got to where I started having other friends outside of church through school and whatnot, then it just compounds.
Did you ever get?
It just compounds.
Did you ever get the? It's almost kind of like a judgment vibe, like, oh, you're a church kid, you're.
Yeah, so it was kind of isolated because a lot of the friends that I had were church kids. So
when you started making new friends,
or we were in school, and so there was modes of existence. So where, like, okay, I'm at school. Those are my school friends. I know them from school. They exist from Monday to Friday. I might see them on a Saturday if they happen to live in the neighborhood. But come Sunday, I'm with my Sunday friends. Mm-hmm. They exist at church. The two never
collided.
Yeah, they never crossed. They never met. There was no bleed over like that. I think that when I started going to school, I started having like other friends that were of different religions and different ethnicities. Sure. The other thing that was also confusing to me was that half my family is Catholic. So,
yeah, wow.
And by that I mean staunch, just as staunch as Baptists, they are Catholic. So where that fucking divide happened, I don't want to even get into the family history of that. But it's like you walk into a house and you got Mary and the Pope and all that.
We're sitting and standing and sitting and standing and kneeling and sitting and kneeling, standing.
Yeah, you got little. I forget what it's called, but you got the little prayer booths at your house.
Uh-huh.
You got all of this. Yeah, you got all of that. Where you can pray if you just need it. You know what? I need to go ahead and pray right now and do the little you got rosaries all over the place. Real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah. And then you go in another relative's house and it is all crosses and Jesus on the cross.
Is it Black Jesus for y'all? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to be racist.
No. So
because I know that's a thing.
To your point, Black Jesus was nothing.
Because white Jesus was nothing too, but it fucking existed.
Right, exactly. But he's nothing either. But his marketing team,
right,
so much better than Black Jesus. Oh, they ran it. Oh my God, Black Jesus!
They ran it.
Nothing on Black Jesus. White Jesus had so much merch everywhere. If you needed a picture, White Jesus had it down. Black Jesus was not thinking ahead at all. Yeah.
White Jesus had a printing press right there.
Yeah. Black Jesus thought, this book will do. They'll get it when they read my book. White Jesus was like, some of these motherfuckers can't read. Check it out, baby. This is what I look like. This long, flowing. Look. God said, you will know my son when you see him clearly because I look like nobody in the Middle East. So that's how you know I'm God's son.
I didn't realize that Jesus was Middle Eastern. Like, it didn't click to me because, you see white Jesus all the time. Well, like I did growing up. I'm a white girl in the South.
No, it's funny because
I was like, what?
Because
dark skin.
Yeah, exactly. So me being how I am, even at those ages that I was telling you about, I was reading the Bible.
What?
And I was reading.
Look at you.
I was reading it with the intent of learning it and not just reading it based on it was something that I needed to do.
You were all in.
It was like, okay.
When you get in something, you were in it.
So again, though, I had like a dad that read constantly and read commentaries, and I had uncles that were pastors of churches and could recite the Bible by memory and stuff. So I'm like looking at it like, yo,
this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
I got the, I got, clearly I got family standards I got to uphold. I got to get into it.
Jesus juice.
I think though that when I started doing that, I started looking at everybody else and was like, why am I doing what I'm doing in church and they're not? And so you start to look at other people that are supposed to be there for that, but they're not. And so a lot of people, so I had kind of the reverse of what you were talking about, where I was looking at people in a way like, yo, we should be excelling and promoting and doing. Y'all are just picking out scripture that works for you. No, you need to be really studying this. It's to the point where pastors were talking about different scriptures and I was the only one answering them when they would say, okay, does anybody know about this? And then I would answer and they'd be like, whoa, you know that? Like, yeah, it talks about how to.
Oh, you actually read it. You didn't use one of those indexes where if your sermon's about grief,
right,
then here are the Bible verses you need to quote.
Right. They would just come up with some obscure stuff, they would come up with obscure stuff to make, to elevate themselves in front of their congregation or in front of this like Bible study group. It's like, oh yeah, how they used to treat lepers, and none of y'all know how they would treat lepers. Let me tell you. And I was like, well, they would put them in tents, and they would have it to where they would, they have to be with turtle doves and whatnot, and then they would have to, and they were just like, whoa, you know all this? Like, yeah, it's right there. You read it, and there it is. So when you start to realize that about yourself, and you kind of get isolated within your own group. And you start going like, okay, well, I guess I'm about it a little bit harder than the rest of you.
You bitches are punks.
Yeah, like I took
WWJD.
I took getting dunked in serious, yo. I mean, this is a lifetime thing. Y'all were just,
I was just thinking, let's just say that there's this new religion that comes up and it's everything that you ever thought that you wanted in a religion. Like you would be so in it. Like you'd like, fuck it. I'll not only drink the Kool-Aid, I will make that shit for you.
Yeah. I'll help you perfect that. I'll get like a little, distillery.
I'm bringing coolers.
So for me, it became a thing where I was doing that, and I was just like, I got to where I was doing it, but then I realized that, what am I doing it for? And who am I doing it for? And clearly what that guy is saying in the pulpit, I don't agree with, but now everybody's amening that. Are they serious? Are you really okay? Why are we shitting on Catholics? Because half my family is Catholic and I love them. They're cool. What? So I'm not supposed to do anything with them. And so there was a lot of contradictions, and a lot of those contradictions, as you were relating to as well, was coming from people. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself wasn't really saying unless they're Catholic or unless they're Muslim or unless they're, fill in the blank. So for me, I became, like I said, from a very early age, it was just a degree of jadedness that set in, because the more I asked, and it wasn't a like I'm looking for the gotcha moment in your religion, as much as it was, I'm asking the questions so that I can get a better understanding. And if you can't answer it, then get out of my way so I can find that answer. But if you're going to ridicule me because I'm calling something out that doesn't make sense and you're just going along with it, then I'm kind of looking at you a certain way too now.
Okay.
Because you're going along with something that clearly doesn't make sense.
Right.
And it has,
like, you've been doing this for years and years, and I'm already past you. Like, not that this is a race or anything, but if I'm understanding or interpreting or questioning or trying to theorize these things.
Right.
And I'm brand new. Like I'm just fucking fresh off the boat, you know?
Right. In comparison, right.
And you've been doing this for
I'm
years, and you do it hours a day.
Yeah. I'm 8 and 12 now, and you're.
And I do it twice a week,
like,
but you've been 50 years in so far.
right.
And you go to
I'm
church for at least 4 hours a day. Plus you study at home at night another 4 hours. And I'm superseding.
And you go to seminars, and you go to
you
seminars,
got
and you go to
cassette tapes all over this damn house.
Oh, for sure. Oh, God damn it. And church services on TV all the time to this day.
Really?
That's all that's on Sundays and sometimes during the week. I think, though, for me, it became one of those things where.
Are they fans?
No. It's random people that make no fucking sense. It's like if they're talking out of a Bible, then it gets a pass.
Sometimes TD Jakes makes me want to dance. I'm just saying.
Well, with the current stuff, I think he's going to be laying low.
Fair.
So for me, it became more and more of that. And then when I'm looking at, okay, what's my source? And when you get to the point where you start looking at your source and you're like, okay, why am I want something more genuine.
And I'm not talking about the book. I'm talking about.
Well, no, I'm wanting more. Yeah, I'm looking at the book, my source here, my Bible that I'm carrying around every.
Oh, I thought maybe
Sunday,
you were talking about your source being the people that are trying to teach you.
Getting there. Yeah, no, it's all wrapped in because I gotta have this Bible. I can't drop the Bible. Read the Bible every night before you go to bed. Read the Bible first thing in the morning. Read it. If you have a question in life, read the Bible. If you have a question in life, just open up the Bible, and whatever you open it to, God's got a message in there exactly for what it is you have troubling you in your life.
That's kind of bold.
This is why are we reading this? And it's like, well, what do you mean? Well, we need something that's more genuine. This is the King James Version of the Bible. Yeah, that's the Bible that we were supposed to be reading. That's the Bible that's
the one
God wrote. No, God didn't write this. It literally says right here, this is the King James Version of the Bible. That means King James approved this Bible. This is the version that he's like, you know what? This works. That means this was edited to the approval of King James. That means other stuff that should be in there that King James was like,
not important.
That won't be a good look for me. He took out.
Right. Enoch. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's like, no, and it was always like, I got to the point where I could tell where there wasn't a conversation to be had when it was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. No, I literally do. It's right there.
Yeah, that's true.
It says it right here.
Well, but denial is denial, you know?
I mean, but I could understand if I was saying, hey, this is Sam Elliott's version of the Bible. It doesn't say that. And, I can understand if I'm spouting bullshit.
Right, but here's the thing. The difference with that is because you are more advanced. Maybe it's because you have a more open mind to what may be or might not be.
Yeah.
You, I mean, it's just.
Yeah. But the kicker to all of that, I never thought, or portrayed myself to be advanced. It was something that was just in my face. And I was like, hey, so why this? And then it became apparent after asking the question. It's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Stop asking questions. That's the devil wanting to sway you. I'm like, no, I'm literally trying to understand something because clearly.
Did you ever get whipped for that?
Oh, it wasn't even like a solid reason needed to be done for that to occur.
My point. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Is that what they say?
Well, there's that. Yeah, there's a bunch of the. It was never spared. I think though that you have to I'm sitting saying the King James Version Bible is kind of There's huge question marks there.
Right.
And we got all these Bibles on shelves. You mean to tell me you don't have anything different? No, we don't need it.
Should I cancel the order for that Trump Bible I got sending your way?
So the Catholics have a different Bible though, because they have different books in
saints.
it. Well, they don't even read their Bible. They got a man reading it to them. Well, yeah, technically we do too. It's just that we put on the front of carrying a Bible. Now, if we ran a survey of how many people read this, that'd be a different story. But my point is that there are different books in that Bible. So what makes this Bible the Bible and that Bible not the Bible, but we both love Jesus.
People.
And both
they did that.
And both call ourselves Christians, which then for Catholics, you've got Roman Catholics, and then
is Greek Orthodox, is that Catholicism?
So there was only Roman. And then Henry VIII was like, yo, I need to get this divorce, yo. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And the Pope at the time was like, yeah, no, you're going to be excommunicated. And if you're that, then you can't be king, because kings were ordained by God and they were the physical representation of God. They were like Jesus over
That's
countries.
Terrifying.
And so what a king said was of God, because they're ordained by God by way of the clergy's, process and privy. Well, so then that's why you had to break the Orthodox, the Catholics and the Roman Catholics, because Henry VIII wanted to get a divorce, and he knew that it wasn't accepted. The Pope wouldn't allow it, even though he was a king. So he was like, you know what? Fuck y'all. And they broke off and made their own Catholic.
I would love to sit and listen to you spar against a staunch right-wing Southern Baptist. I would love to see that.
So
love it.
So that's why you have Roman Catholics, and then all the other Catholics, because once that happened, once Henry VIII did that, then it sparked all these other things.
We can change this. We can do this. Oh, we're this over here.
For Methodists and Presbyterians and
but isn't that like the same thing as kind of like trans, right? Because you don't have to be one or the other. You can be your own, whatever you want to be.
Well, no, not really. It was more of if this guy can make this exception in order to facilitate his human need, why can't we then interpret it for our need?
That's what
That's kind of what
I'm saying.
That's kind of what, well, because I don't want to, I'm not trying to throw an understanding of trans within it as much as I am like, well, I like ice cream, but vanilla is not the only way to go.
Fair.
I think I want to put sprinkles on it. Well, if you put sprinkles on it, then it's not this. Well, yeah. Or it's the equivalent of chili isn't chili if it's got beans. Yeah, chili is chili only if it has
your brain.
Only if it has beans. And so you have people that argue solely on if chili is chili with or without the beans. So are you
with beans or without beans?
Right.
No, I need to know. Yeah. This might be the last episode. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, right. Like we were joking about religion, but the chili though, that's for real.
Like, don't fuck with me, okay? I've had a hard day.
This is where either two people keeps talking or one person is talking after this.
You could take my name off. I'm just playing.
Right. I've had it both, and my preference kind of depends on how it's made. If your chili relies on those beans, then it's really it's got a handicap. I kind of like to not have beans in chili just so I can appreciate the goodness of it.
I prefer the beans because
Yeah.
that means that I'm consuming less meat that way.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like you want something to take up for some other thing. Like,
right. But my chili is a little different. Like I wouldn't make it like Texas quote unquote chili is made.
Yeah.
I would put like carrots and celery. And,
you're making some fucking stew.
I'm making a casserole pretty much with no crust.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, okay. So that was where I would have.
Did you make it a chicken pot?
Right. It's like, okay, you're making a stew. Okay, got it. But that's where I would have those discussions. Like, okay, well, why do we have this? Why do we have that? Because to me, I'm already
as a kid. I said, I bet you were annoying as fuck as a kid to your the church people. You're like, well, why this?
Yeah.
Why this? Now, why this? I'm surprised I didn't be like, just leave, go, bye. I
was more so having these conversations with I was trying to have these conversations with my parents. And then I was trying to have it with other clergy or like my uncle and other pastors that would sit down and talk to me and stuff like that, because I felt like they were more likely to have answers I was looking for.
Sure, of course. Did you ever come across somebody that was like super genuine, like wanted to help and explore those answers with you?
Yeah.
That's good.
And I realized that wasn't in the congregation, but then also that there were one or two people off here and there and the other that were like that in the congregation.
Sure.
I felt like that preachers and pastors didn't have the time because they had the show that they had to put on.
Fair.
And once you caught them out off the pulpit,
they were done. They clocked out.
Yeah, they didn't have time for a one-person congregation, let alone someone that was 12, 14, 16, that was, putting the fire to their feet, basically, and again, unintentionally.
Sure, you were just curious.
But it was more so like, if I got deep, and again, this sounds like it's off topic, but if I have deep questions about transdimensional UFOs, and there's a ufologist, I kind of want to say, hey, what are your thoughts with this? I'm thinking, I was looking at this. What are your thoughts on that?
Sure.
You're going to someone that you feel is going to have more of an in-depth touch on the subject matter than someone that just likes Independence Day and thinks it's an awesome movie. I'm not really wanting to ask them those types of questions because I'm already gauging their appreciation of the topic. So the same thing was that for theology, and I started looking at it
more advanced, even as a child.
It was just one of those things where I'm like, okay, and we got Southern Baptists, and we have Northern Baptists, and we have Black Baptists, and we have.
There's a Northern Baptism. I'm sure there is. I'm so sorry, that was ignorant. But I just didn't. I never thought about it.
You got Baptists in the North. Of course, you got Baptists in the South, and Baptists in the North is going to be a little bit different than Southern. You've got Amish, and you've got Mennonites, and there's a difference in that. No, they're all Amish. No, I mean they're not. And so take the time to realize that, because if we're all saying Jesus is Lord, then don't we want to understand what that means to everybody?
Right.
We don't? Oh, okay, cool. We don't. What about in the Middle East? Because
isn't that where he came from? No, you will, I guess.
Right. And so my other thing, I would sit there and it's like, okay, why are we Baptists if we're talking about the King of the Jews?
Right. And he wasn't born in Middle America, people. Okay.
It would be silence like that. It's like, well, it's because of this. Okay, so Christianity is like the new kid on the block. Why do we not associate with Muslims? Or why do we not associate as much with Jews? And my thing was we're doing and mimicking and saying things, but we're not integrating with the culture that we're doing and mimicking.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Actually, we're being prejudiced against those people.
Like you're talking about places that you've never been. You're talking about Jerusalem and you're barely knowing how. Yeah, you're talking about Jerusalem and you're barely knowing how to spell it. But you swear, you preach with the fervency like you grew up in Jericho. But you've never. But you then come up with these, and so for me, it became a thing where I was just seeing the interpretation of things way too much for me to take it as real and literal. And it became a thing where the prayer was for specific things to happen without the understanding of what those things you're asking for, specifically for these other people. Okay, if you're going to pray for people that are sick and shut in, just pray for people that are sick and shut in. But if you're going to name certain people, then you run into the same flaw as you do when you're announcing all the people you like to thank when you get an award. You're going to miss some people. You're going to miss some things.
Right.
So I think that as I got older in it, I realized that there was a lot more interpretations and presentation than actual study and application.
Wow.
And that's where I was like, my examples of religious people, by the time I went off to university and everything, my examples for religious people had completely just devolved into people just running and doing routines.
Oh,
they weren't really seeing, doing, or being anything other than those routines. I've often got into arguments with people because not for the joy of having an argument. It's just that's how it evolved into, because they would automatically label me as something solely because I would put it to them that it made no sense. Let's go to this fundraiser, or let's go give poor to the needy. I mean, don't give poor to the needy. Let's go give food to the needy. Yeah, let's go give food to the needy and the poor. And I would pass. I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not going to do that. It's like, why not? They need it. So you're just going to let them starve? It's like, and my whole point would be, so in your head, you feel like on Thanksgiving and on Christmas Day, that's when they're hungry, because that's when you want to go and give food.
Because it's about feeling better for yourself than it is having them feel better.
Exactly. It's a routine where you can walk away and pat yourself on the back and say, I did the Lord's work.
It's part of the show.
But 363 of those other days, you don't give a shit about them.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, on those 2 days, you still don't give a shit about them because you give them canned goods. So they're needy and they're poor, but you're giving them something that they can only access if they have a can opener. But you don't give them a can opener. You just give them corn in a can and beans. Oh, and rice, and because they can boil the rice in the alley with what?
Right.
So no, I don't want to go and give somebody a whole turkey that has no oven to put the turkey in.
So true.
But if that makes you feel better, you can do it, but don't include me. And then also don't try to besmirch me because I'm not going along with what it is. And then I have the presence to ask you, why are you doing it?
And here's the thing. If you want to go do it, fine. I'm not mad at you for it. But don't be mad at me if I don't want to go.
I've had relationships devolve on me because of that exact argument hey, let's go out and we're about to get together with a bunch of friends and we're about to go give some food to the needy. Pass. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not taking hand in hand or arm over shoulder photos at some food bank that you guys are only going on today. Right. Like that. So you don't see them during the rest of the year? You don't? Okay, I mean, you don't see them. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Like, people will go, well, I'm busy. I work and blah, blah, blah. You know what? You can still send $5 to a food bank. $5 will buy a surprising amount of food for a person.
With my association with churches, I even stopped doing that. I would give to people
correct.
directly.
And I don't do that either. I used to give hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month, but no, I won't do that anymore.
I started giving directly to people. Like, I would go buy extra food and then just drive up to somebody. Here you go. Here you go. I would never give. Well, I'm not saying never. I stopped giving money because I didn't know what habit I was enabling. I'll just say it like that.
Or where, more importantly, like where it's going. Is it even going to the church, or is somebody pocketing it?
Well, no. I mean, like, I meant I would stop giving money to a person that I saw on the street.
Oh yeah, no. I would never. Yeah, no, I don't do,
because I didn't know what.
I actually
I didn't know what habit.
Kind bars, the protein the protein bars. Yeah. They've got like 25 grams of protein.
Yeah.
I keep a box of them in my car, and whenever I see somebody on the side of the road and they have one of those signs that say like, I'm hungry, help me, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll give him a bar and I'll say it's protein. I know it's not much, but it's protein and it may get you through till a next meal.
Yeah. I think within doing certain things like that, I got more into finding my own way of associating with people. And by that, in some capacity of religion, but I stopped with that altogether. By the time I got to university, I admit I tried to do the routine, and then that immediately made me question myself, like, why am I doing this routine? It was like somebody's looking, like somebody's going to report back. God's going to send an angel to my parents and say, hey, he didn't go to church. And my mom would ask all the time, what church are you going to? Have you joined a new church? No. Why not? The church is out there. No.
Are you just so glad that, they didn't have air tags and shit back then, GPS?
Yeah, right.
You'd be like, no, I totally was there. No, I was there. I heard it. I heard it all. No, I missed that part, but right. I was there.
So even to this day, I think a few years back, my mom and I had a conversation where she's like wanting me to have a better relationship with God because she wants everybody to be in heaven she wants all of her family with her in heaven. Like, I'm good. I mean,
I'll be there. Fine. Yes.
If I'm there, I'm there.
I don't know what the parameters are really. Nobody does, but I'm not a shit
if
person.
If I'm there, I'm there. I'm not. But your heaven might not be that might not be where I want to be anyway. Not saying I'm looking forward to hell, but at the same time, I don't know what your heaven's like.
I mean, I'll take a good 4-star hotel, resort. I'm sorry.
I don't know what your God is like. I don't know what your God is like.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what anyone's God is like.
Dude,
I don't know what anyone.
Oh, fuck me. I just had a thought. What you just said. I don't know what your God is like. And then I thought, my initial knee jerk wanted to be, what the fuck you mean? But then it's true. Because if, let's just say, it has been proven that that there have been Catholic priests and other clergy people throughout the world, all over the place, all religions. I won't just say Catholic.
Yeah.
That have done things to children, not nice things. Varying degrees or whatever. But if you allow them to remain, then
you're culpable.
Then your God is okay with that?
Yeah. So there's a lot of that comes into play as well.
My brain just hurt. Like it just fucking exploded.
No surprise if I'm 5 and 8 doing it, then it's just going to keep increasing throughout the years. So you get to where you're looking at everyone saying, okay, I get it that you're religious. I get that this is part of your life. I get you're very, very devout. But why aren't you asking these questions too? Like, don't get mad at me when I'm asking you, what is your parish doing? What is your diocese doing about this? Oh, that's just some bad people, bad apples. You can't brush that under the rug like that. Right. I would be upset because I'm like, yo, you're a representation of my faith. And so by that, you're tainting. I'm experiencing a little bit of that taint.
Okay, save that. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right. I'm experiencing a little bit of that by way of my association, however stretched out it might be, but my association to you. And it was like, oh no, that priest or that pastor doesn't define my religion and my connection with God. So you're kind of
leaning. Your religion versus your connection with God can be completely different things.
Right. So you're kind of leaning where I'm at. If your connection with God isn't based on this person, then keep going that direction. Kind of take the religion out of it too. Kind of take the people out of it also.
Well, people is religion.
I would bring religion is based on people. Right. Point blank. Period. There's no deity that's sitting back with the goddamn time to separate people here and there. I think there's a lot of human characteristics that are placed on deities because it is easier for us to digest. But if you're an omnipotent being, we have no comprehension of that. So how are we knowing something we can barely fathom? We can't create Earth's universes, animals, and species with a thought. So how, and it, exists and people interact and do things. And I know people can get into the quantum physics, metaphysical, this is and that's and alternate universes and projection thought. I get that, but I'm saying just on the basis alone of what religious doctrine implements on Sunday mornings. And then when you roll that into the prosperity gospel,
it gets more gross. Gospel
where you are preaching prosperity.
What?
God's going to bless you with money. God's going to bless you with a house. God's going to bless you with a car.
That's a thing?
When you're getting into the TD
Okay.
No, when you're getting into the TD when you're getting into the
oh my God, I never even knew that was a word. Like that was a thing. I'm so naive.
When you're getting into the mega churches, when you're getting into the Creflo Dollars and the what's his name? I forget his name, but he has
Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen.
Let me just tell you something, okay? I've already started off today with not that much faith in fucking humanity. Okay, you are not helping the cause here.
No, I'm not. No, I'm sorry. If you missed that, I was not going to help you. Sorry, I should have prefaced with that. This is going to make you shut all doors on religion.
Right. That was already done. But, hey, I'm not mad at anybody for wanting to try and having a good heart and with good intention. I totally understand that. But
absolutely,
the people that are doing the bamboozling on purpose, fuck them, burn in hell.
When you get to the point where when you are talking about Copeland and he's saying, I need a jet because God wants me to fly around and preach the gospel.
Oh, God.
when you have TBN, TBS, that kind of stuff is prosperity gospel, where you're solely talking about the money and the donations, and you're running all these grifts to get more cash out of people. That's where it gets even more disgusting.
And then to top that off, then they go to political candidates. Gross.
Well, politics out of it. You get to the point where you're telling somebody that their salvation is hinged on their giving.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. That's why I don't give anymore.
When they're giving, thousands of dollars. And when they're giving, but when they're giving is giving to the church, and all it is like, and now we're going to build this on our campus. What do you mean a campus? What do you mean a campus?
Like, you realize you could literally throw up a tent.
So when you go to a service, you could see a sermon on a big screen TV. The person's really not there. I could have stayed home for that.
Or just use my internet.
I can't stay home. I can stay home and get it all on the internet. Oh, okay, even better. So I think for me, it became a thing where I started looking at it that everyone is doing these routines, but they're not really applying, and they're not really practicing, and they're not really looking for, in the scripture where it says, seek God's face. You're not really seeking. You feel like you found. I think the seeking part is within. I think the seeking part is within humanity itself, where you're telling somebody to love thy neighbor, but you're not even giving a shit about their neighbor because you got enough fences up. So what?
Or your neighbor's the neighbor's wife.
For me, it was always one of those things where it's like, you can't, especially when it gets to different ethnicities, you can't be Baptist, love, Baptist, awesome, but then also all about Malcolm X. You do realize that those are two different ideologies, right? And you're never going to Mecca, but you do realize why people go to Mecca, right?
Right.
I think that that's a thing that people want, just to pick out certain aspects of what will make it best for them.
Sure.
So I would tell people this, and they would, I was like, look, explain this to me. If you can't, that's fine. I'm not looking for definitive answers, but I'm just wanting you to think about it. Actually, I don't want you to explain it to me. Just think about it. Two guys are at war. They both stop at one particular point because one's on one side and one's on the other, and they both pray to God so that they get through this war and help them have the strength and the ability to kill their enemy. Which is God listening to? They're both praying to the same God.
Right.
Which prayer does the God answer? And whoever feels like, whoever gets the more truer shot off is the one that's alive to feel like God answered their prayer.
It's a paradox.
And thus justifying something. And the person that's bleeding out is feeling like God didn't answer their prayer. And now they're dying.
Right.
So their faith is based in that one incident. And the valuation of it is decided within that one moment.
Fucking hell, dude.
What does that mean? Or if we're all from God, and God loves every one of us, but there's a person in Tibet that herds goats, doesn't know a lick of American English, never seen a lick of TV, doesn't know this Christian God. By haphazardness, slips, falls off and dies at the bottom of a cliff. Never knowing God, never hearing the word of God, never reading the Bible. never being preached to, never receiving a pamphlet or anything. You tell me that if you don't know God and confess that Jesus is his son, Lord and Savior, that you go to hell.
Right.
This person then that has done nothing to anyone, has been a good person their entire life, they're in hell just because of that.
Your bad luck.
Why would that be? Why would a deity damn innocent people because they weren't fortunate enough to have a means of knowing? Yeah. And I've had people, like, well, no, God would have found a way to let himself be known to that person before they died. How? Then explain how, when after the fall, while writhing in pain, because that could be kind of like an hallucination, but when is this occurring? And so I would often talk to people. It's like not to try to refute faith, but to have a discussion of understanding with that.
Right.
I mean, especially, and people can have their own perception, their own experiences. I'm not refuting any of that. I know that God is great is yelled out in wars before explosions are going off, and suicide bombers are blowing up people that they feel are against their teachings of God. And then at the same time, battalions say prayers before they go to war to find these suicide bombers, to make sure that they destroy them before they come after these innocent people. And they hope to have the strength of God in order to dispatch them. It's a very, very interesting conundrum when you put that in the aspect of a deity, and the understanding of a deity is now supposed to choose who's right.
Yeah.
And if they're right, then God is great either way, from the perspective of the person that survives it. It's just like I said, every time an athlete, like, no one is praising and thanking God when they lose a game as an athlete.
Have you met Tim Tebow? Because I bet he does.
Well, Tebow, sure, but it's like some people are like, all praise and glory to God.
Sure.
Okay, they lose the Super Bowl or whatever. We'll be back next year. We're gonna be back bigger, stronger. I have no comment. It's just a weird. It's a very, very. It's a very subjective, very. It's a very.
It's extremely interesting.
It's a very convenient thing, especially when you get no one's thinking about that. It's sort of like we wanted to have a picnic, but it rained. The devil didn't want you to enjoy the picnic. But if the sun is out, God sure was wanting us to have a great picnic. It's like the devil is really not giving a shit to make it rain on your picnic. Is it like we?
If that's the level of evil he's on today, he's not doing his
exactly.
job.
Exactly. It's like we put our level of importance we put a level of importance on ourselves from a perspective of a deity in a very weird way. I got a flat tire. The devil's always trying you. No, you got a fucking flat tire.
Right. God thought you needed a minute. That's why.
I mean, the devil's not running around high knee stepping and poking tires
Cloven
left and right.
Like clackety
Yeah. It's, I think, because it's like, I would just have conversations with people like that. It's like, I would always tell them, it's like, I'm not trying to do anything to where I am besmirching your faith as the furthest from it. I'm just trying to understand and get a dialogue, have a conversation of it. Because to me, the way it's explained, Satan and God seems like they're pushing the same product. It's just one has a better marketing team than the other. Satan wants your soul.
Okay, that's fair. I wasn't thinking about it that way. I'm like, what do you mean?
Satan wants your soul. He tries to tempt you with all these great things, but in the end, you're going to be condemned in hell with Satan. God wants your soul. You can do all the work for him. You're going to get these great things in heaven where you can worship him for the eternity. It's like, it sounds like the same thing. It just sounds like from the perspective of the person that wants people in their heaven, they're going to talk shit about the other person's hell. Yeah, it's hell. It's fire. It's always burning. Mine, cool. Sun's up all the time. You know what? I don't want the sun up all the time. I want some sleep.
I want some downtime, damn. Shit, it's a balance.
Like if this is heaven, and I'm thinking heaven to me is just like pillows and beds. Maybe
and titties.
Maybe that's what
pillows, beds, and titties. That's all.
That'd be a great. Oh, and another thing, like pillows and beds. Oh God! Titties on people, preferably. Don't you try and take me literally and just have a mattress of titties.
I don't know. I sleep on that.
You clever
fucking baby. I'd be gone.
Again, perfect. That's your heaven. You want a mattress of titties.
Oh my God.
I'm
such a dude.
That's where it is for me. That's how religion is for me. If somebody's very religious, awesome. Don't just keep it. Don't try and put your religion on me. I don't need it. I'm good. Whatever that.
I'm already traumatized. Leave me alone.
Yeah, it's like whatever that ending is. I hope it works out for them, but I don't need your materialistic heaven. Like, it is. Like as a kid, I'm just like, what do you mean? There's gates. Heaven is a gated community. The streets are gold.
And if that's not some...
The streets are paved with gold.
Gentrification. If that's not gentrification, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so heaven's a gated community on a cloud, but it has streets of gold, and we're all in mansions. Why?
Where are the servants?
Like, why is a deity making houses? We are one with the universe, right? No, we're not. Okay, cool. This is interpretation. This is based on someone's means of understanding what a good thing, what a good afterlife would be. And then you have another religion where you're surrounded with virgins. Okay. And then you have another one where
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. How does that work? Does it get cycled out? Like, how does that work? How does that work? You never penetrate. What does it work? What's the point? It's always with the virgins.
How long do they have to be virgins? Like, once I get there?
and then others have a forever walk in green fields with flowers and just in union with nature.
Can I have that one?
It's a very, very drawn perspective. Yeah, you can have it. Here you go. It's yours.
Thanks.
I give it to you. Yeah, I think it's just like when you start to say my religion is better than yours, that's human talk.
Right.
That's human talk. It really, I think for me, it got to that point where when I started taking the humanity out of religion went away.
Exactly.
And then once religion went away, then it became, what the fuck is a name? Like I who am I to name a deity?
Right.
It's like I'd rather have the relationship and then learn that than the name, then assume this name. So
that's
God
why I do
God.
that. I say all the time, like whatever it is, it's putting a name on it is not that important to me. For those that need to compartmentalize and label and all that, fine, pick a name, call him
Yeah.
Bob. Fuck, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah, right.
because it's not about a name. They, them, architect, creator, fucking dinosaur, whatever, alien.
Yeah.
They transcend that automatically.
And everyone has a great God. No one has a shitty God.
Nobody's my God is no.
My God is an awesome God, powerful, able to see, do all things, make sickness go away, do all right, and it's like no one really has. My God's kind of meh.
Like
no one has
3 stars at best.
Yeah, no. Yeah. On a Wednesday, 3 stars all the way. Yeah, no one's like really like. My God, he wants you to send prayer requests in advance, and he's got at least
box. Do they have those at churches?
He's got at least a 2-decade response time. So yeah, you're kind of on your own.
Running a little slow these days.
Yeah, I'm like growing up, and then I came across XCC and Dear God, and not the drug, the band, the band.
Bro, we need to talk.
Not ecstasy, XTC.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
And yeah, it's a band, and they have a song called Dear God, and it pretty much was like, yes, that's the shit I'm talking about. And yeah, look it up, Dear God, XTC. It was one of those things where for me, it was like, yo, somebody else is asking the same questions I'm asking. And then later on, it was, Perfect Circle? Or Tool? One of the two.
Did you say Jerky Circle?
Perfect Circle.
Oh, there we go.
Or Tool. I think most people will know what song I'm talking about. But
sorry,
in any case, and yeah, well, it's the one about it.
Was it a straight song? Okay.
No, it's the one about the lead singer's mom dying from cancer, and she was she was super religious, and he's like super pissed because of how people just stopped coming around and stopped doing anything for her, and it's like, oh yeah, but you gave everything to this God, and you just got totally tossed to the side. So it's like you have these human things that elevate, but you don't have these relationships that that to me, that's what people should be cultivating a lot. That, I think that if there's any religion that you're wanting to promote or celebrate, it should be the one of humanity and how you relate.
My religion is humanity.
People.
If I have to have a religion,
if you have to have one that you just say my religion is, because somebody can't comprehend something like spirituality, or can't comprehend something about an individual relationship, in seeking the understanding of something like that, then humanity is it. And even humanity is kind of subjective, because it should be into something to where your religion is with all living things, all things living, animated. It's more of a worship towards the understanding of existence.
Oof.
Like if you take all,
wow, that was a great way to put it. I mean, you literally just blew my brain out.
Because like, even if you're in a room without any people around, that existence that you have right there, be one with that, understand that, better that in some sort of way, to where you are being the best you can be for yourself, and in turn for others, whether that's a fucking goat or a beaver or a centipede or elderly person or a child, whatever. It's outside of ethnicity. I mean, religion and ethnicity, that's just made up shit
Right.
to categorize people. But humanity and the existence of things, humanity and the existence of things and people, that to me is that should be the focus, because how you are is what matters.
100% agreed. And that doesn't shock me that we have the same thoughts.
So that's kind of, in a nutshell, the whole religion episode.
I love your perspective. I have to say, I super respect your opinions. And in general, I mean, just the amount of respect that I have for you is amazing. And I think that it's only gotten fuller and richer having had this episode, because I can see that even if you don't understand something, you're willing to learn about it. And just because just because you believe something doesn't mean that that is the end all be all. You want to expand yourself beyond what those are, but just for the infinite possibilities that are available.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, love it so much.
I've learned this, that, and the other. Now, can I just put that in the center of the room and set it on fire and burn it all up because I found out that it was off in some sort of way, or skewed because it was taught to me by someone else that was going off of skewed information? Here's some other information that shows more validity. If you realize that you're like I was given an example earlier, if you realize basically, and I know some people, hey, that's sacrilegious, you're referring to the Bible as a textbook, but let's be real, that's how
say it all the time, and people get weird about it. I'll tell them it's a book of morals. It's a great book. Yeah, it's a guide.
Textbook. Like how, if you realize that your textbook was edited by a king that wanted to do some shit and take that out of the textbook so he can still be a king doing the shit, don't you want to find a more unadulterated version?
Mm-hmm.
And if you happen to find that this more authentic version happens to be in Somalia, and it's got other books in it that you didn't even know existed. And you realize that those books were originally in there, but then when it got over to Europe, they decided to pull those books out, because
it didn't fit their narrative or support their theory.
Yeah, but they conveniently kept those books and just called them the Apocrypha. Then that make you want to understand and ask questions. And if it doesn't, then that's on you. I think that's where,
and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think as a person, you're like, okay, if you rather that, like I know of people that only, in regards to the Christian Bible, I know of people that only read and recognize the New Testament. And that's their Bible. They only have the New Testament in it. And when I ask about it, it's like, okay, why do you? So for you, the Bible is only the New Testament. Why not the Old Testament? Because that was the Old Testament. The Old Testament doesn't apply anymore.
Right, but history is important.
It's only the New Testament is what we should be living by. And I was like, okay, but if that's the case, then you just call it Testament, don't you? I mean, it's current, so you don't really have to call it new, because by calling it new, you imply there was a previous, and it's relegated to old. Like you just don't even, so Moses and Noah and fuck it, Adam and Eve, none of those fuckers apply anymore. They don't, gone. They don't even apply. No, because the covenant with God is now.
Well, then how did you get here? That's the origin story.
But it's not even the origin story. It's not even like that. It's as much as it's like, it can't be a new without the old. The old was talking about the new and things of the new. So you just don't even apply those. Yeah, God was not, that's not the God I serve. You sure? You sure? You
Agree to
absolutely,
disagree,
are you
or
absolutely sure? Because that dude is the same God. And he was about to do some same God shit. And then Jesus was like, no, 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 no. Let me go down there first and see if I can iron
I'm
this
just going to tidy
all
up a
out.
bit. I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
just
just see what happens.
iron it out completely. Okay, just let me go down there first.
Fast
Okay,
forward, he's flipping
okay,
tables in temple.
okay, cool. Okay, cool. Now I'm saying that I'm not even going to dip my. I am going to dip my toe a little bit. I'm not even going to discuss about the Trinity and how it's God the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, which means Jesus is God, which means God sent Himself, which means okay, fine, okay, alternate personalities, whatever, fine. So he, sent a smidge of himself in a human and got a lady pregnant, and the fucking 70-year-old husband is like, yo, I didn't do that. Okay, cool.
My junk don't even work no more.
Okay, cool. And it's very similar to Leda and the Swan with Zeus and Leda. Okay, cool. That's other mythology. We don't apply with that, even though Christmas is not Jesus' birthday. Okay, cool. We're not going to do that. Okay,
Right.
cool.
It's based off of a pagan holiday. What? Wait, what?
Yeah, monotheism is the way to go. It's just cleaner. Okay, got it. Even though, all right. And it was multiple Jesuses during this time, but it was multiple saviors, multiple sons of gods. That's why crucifixion was such an on and popping thing. Okay, cool. We're going to skip all that because this was a better, kinder, not drowning people God. You clearly don't understand deities because in video games, we hit the reset button all the fucking time. Right. In SimCity, I was flooding my city.
God wants, and God can end it right now.
Yeah. What?
I said God does what God wants, and He could end it right now.
Yeah. Like, and then what? What are we doing? Are we going to pray enough to stop a deity? No.
We're not going to change their mind.
Like, okay, so seriously, you're saying you don't believe in the Old Testament where God was like, okay, I flooded this whole planet. I'm not going to do that again. Next time around, I'm going to set it all on fire. All right.
So burning, bitches. So you were saying, I think you were playing a game.
Yeah. So I was like, so you missed this whole point about why he was going to set the whole earth on fire and Jesus stepped in because you're like, nah, just read the new. Okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, when SimCity is a game that was out a while back and it's like, yeah, it's still out, but I used to play it. And like,
is that where you make your own world?
Yeah, you can make your own city.
Okay.
And you can have fire state, the fire department. You can do all these different things, the roads and all that.
And
okay,
there's
great.
Pros and cons about everything.
Yeah, you got traffic jams, so you got to figure out how to do more. You got to raise the taxes so you can get. But at the same time, you got this God mode where you could just start shit up and like, I want flooding to happen here, and then it's like and you just watch how the people react.
Torturing people via a video game. Awesome.
I'm gonna start a fire right here. Can the fire department put that all out? Look at it go. That's all getting destroyed. Oh, people without homes. Ooh, the whole city's on fire. Well,
I would make a black hole and just have everything be sucked up, including me.
Yeah. So,
meaning I would turn on the CERN, obviously.
I mean, it's just those kinds of things. And so for me, it's like, you know what? If you want to walk around with a New Testament, cool. And if you don't want to hear what I have to say because it's kind of hurting your religious feelings, okay, awesome. Because to me, it's not about that. And I get it. It's like, I don't want to make the same steps that were applied to me by talking about somebody's religion in a way to try and sway them from that, or to make them feel like they are they are dumb or shitty or whatever because of it. That's their choice. That's their decision. Again, it's like humanity and the relationship with existence. You get to the point where you have to realize that a lot of that is about you, but then your relationship with people and things as well. And so for that, it means you can't change all of that. You have to respect the fact that they're going to be in existence and do their thing. And if they happen to get to the same point that you are with their understanding about certain stuff, then so be it. If they don't, then that's where they are. It's not a giving up thing. Like, I'm just not going to work with, trying to save people. But at the same time, what are you saving and how are you saving? And what are you saving for? You're saving for so that they can fit your own little narrative. And if that's the case, you might want to rethink that. You just might want to rethink that. So that's how I look at it. I know it was a long time. I appreciate you for staying on. This is probably the longest we've done one, and but like you called it, it was going to be a long one. You called it.
This one's girthy,
Yes, girthy.
It encompasses a lot.
That's one of those words that it doesn't get to me in a bad way, like moist does with people, but it's like girthy. It's like
it's hilarious.
Girthy hits me in a way. It's funny. But thanks so much for your time. I really appreciated talking to you about this subject. It was one fun. That we were really apprehensive about because it hits on so many different ways. We just wanted to do it right, give it just, and I don't know if we did. But I think that
it was fun, and I'm so glad that we did it.
Yeah, I think we were about as honest and as truthful as we could. We didn't really.
Hello, have you met us?
Yeah, we didn't really skirt around any of the things that were touchy for us. Some things for you, some things for me.
I don't know that there would be a whole lot of those.
Well, I mean, like you telling about your story and things had some moments that can be considered raw or delicate,
triggering, or whatever.
Triggering and all that kind of stuff. And so some people might want to have skipped that because they're wanting to preserve
they're
themselves.
Listening to this now, they've gone through it already.
Yeah, they just. Well, I mean, they just want to preserve themselves from having to revisit that portion of their life. And I appreciate the fact that you didn't, and but you did it on your own. I wasn't really I honestly didn't expect you to go that route, but I do appreciate the fact that you took the time to do that. So thank you again. Thank you again. And so for everybody else that listened, thanks. I mean, this is probably one of we have serious topic podcast episodes from time to time, and this is one of them. So hopefully you enjoyed the change in pace. And thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out at TheDinosaur&TheDude.com. Changed up a couple of things on the website, so hopefully it's better for people that are looking up content on there. So go take a look at it. And for everyone else, if you don't know, now you know. She is the dinosaur. I am the dude. And she's gonna do her best to fumble through the goodbye things that she tries to do every. Okay. Oh, right to them. Okay. Yeah. Back it up some. Bloods and Crips, and they're in California. I mean, Bloods and Crips are everywhere, but they started in California. It's just funny that you're like, we have people in Harlem, right? That's Bloods and Crips, clearly. Holy shit. Yeah. From Bloods and Crips to Lady Boys. This is the best. Yeah, manly girls. Yeah. Yeah, you go. Uh-huh. You're good. I think it's a good spot. I think it's good. Yeah, I'm trying to save you. It's good. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't have anybody like that especially shout out, but thanks to everyone. Next episode, we'll do a shout out to everybody in different countries and stuff since we've had a few new countries and locations that have started listening. So, yeah. Yeah, it gives us towns and principalities. So we'll break that down for sure. So, thanks. You know what? I got a great idea. Maybe we'll do a map. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on that. I'll let y'all know. Yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks, lady, for your time. I really appreciate it. Love you and love you all too. Love you all too. Don't forget to love yourself and love yourself hard with lotion and a little bit of Jesus on the side. All right. All right, babe. Thanks. Okay. Bye.